Good day, Internet, and welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the Eureka Poets Cafe. I am your host for the evening. My name is Advocate of Words. Happy Labor Day to everyone. I hope that everyone ate well and they're prepared for some really good poems. So tonight's theme is equilibrium, balance. I'm really excited to hear what the people have written. The first 25 people who signed up are guaranteed a slot on the open mic. You should have received an email from the New York, and if you caught our intro video, you saw your name up there. A shout out to everyone who's watching us on Facebook, YouTube, and LinkedIn. If you would like to join us on Zoom, the number is 279-995-364. Once again, the number is 279-995-364. The number should be there in the lower left-hand corner of your screen. This is show number 23. And of course, we could not make this possible without the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust. Thank you for sponsoring our free online events. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at nuyorican.org/contribute, or you can hit up our Cash App, Nuyorican Poets Cafe. So we are going to go until about 10:30 tonight. That's 10:30 Eastern time. So we do about 2.5 hours. 25 people are on the guaranteed list to perform. We have 10 on the waiting list. Poets have a maximum of 4 minutes to share their poems. 4 minutes. So you do one poem, two poems, whatever it is. 4-minute max so that we can make sure that we get to everyone in a timely manner. Also, after the people perform, I unmute everyone on Zoom. Make sure that you're able to unmute yourself when it's requested so that we can all clap and snap and give it up for the person for a few seconds so that they can hear you. Sometimes I see people is still muted when they're clapping. You're using all that energy, but we can't hear you. Make sure that you unmute yourself. Also, those of you who are on the open mic, make sure that you open up the chat here in Zoom, because a lot of people will like to leave comments about your poem while you're performing, and they'll type it in there. Also, at the end, I'm going to ask for you to share your social media so that everyone can follow you. We're trying to build community here. So tonight is Labor Day, and believe it or not, tonight it's just me. I am hosting and I'm doing the producing. Okay, so I'm pushing buttons, I'm levering the levers, I'm turning knobs that are turning gears, and hopefully the boat doesn't fall apart, because all I know how to do is host, not produce. But we're gonna have some fun with it, and I need to get ready with it. Also, some personal news for me, 2 things. One, my boy is in fall ball. I'm excited. We didn't get to play summer baseball, but the fall ball's open. We're gonna be able to play that. And in a couple of weeks, I return to FM radio here in New York City. I'm really excited about it. So make sure that you follow me online at Advocate of Words. And when you spell words, it's with a Z, W-O-R-D-Z. You know, I'm from the Bronx. Well, what hip hop? Okay, with that being said, let's get to the open mic. And first coming up is a mainstay here on the Monday Night Online Open Mic. And he was one of the first people in the waiting room. I guess he knew he was first and he was excited to go. And that is Andy Markert. Let me unmute him. There we go. Andy, how are you today?
I'm all right. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Did you eat a lot? You barbecue? You have fun?
I definitely ate a lot. Didn't barbecue, but had fun.
All right. Awesome. Awesome, man. So I hope you're well digested and you're ready to kick off tonight. Ready to go?
Yeah, let's dive in.
Yeah, brother.
I do not do well with natural laws. Physics are not my thing. I don't believe in equilibrium because I don't think I've ever actually experienced it. I'm a tidal wave rolling from one end of a bottle to another, like a child shaking your can of soda, crashing between the walls of the casing of my rib cage, looking for a release, or just one person dumb enough to crack open the seal and watch me explode, a shower of carbonated sugar words, all slow and dangerous and deadly wasps that one first taste rockets your taste buds to new heights and makes your heart beat a little faster. And if I were to tell you, my love, that this is normal, that I'm deadly dangerous in my sickly, sweet, poisonous smile, for I don't experience equilibrium as you normal people do. Equilibrium sets my fight or flight response, and I will dance from one scale to another just to hear the chains creak as proof of my existence. I was born off balance. I don't sit still, for my shorter left leg reminding me always to step forward, forward. Forward is grounding, and that standing still, I'm a reject bin of parts God hadn't wanted to use on other people, so he gave them to me. Like some ultimate hand-me-down insult, as if for some reason my long arms, short torso, fucking different length legs, perpetually plump stomach, offset eyes on crooked ears meant that I got to play life in hard mode while everyone else got it easy, because on your worst day you can run, and not feel like your leg is a tire with no lug nuts, ready to fly off in a moment of wild abandonment, like my real leg went to the store to buy a pack of cigarettes and never came home. The only gifts he gave me are a mind for these words and a tongue to wield them and a voice resonant enough to pull you in, my brave Alice, and send you tumbling down my rabbit hole, crashing in a spin cycle of my words to land in my enchanted wonderland Atlantis at the bottom of a sea where up is down and black is white and our tea is made of coffee. That maybe, my love, I will make your heart skip a beat, your breath catch, your mind jerk, and your stomach drop. Like a moment of a roller coaster of love creeps past the point of no return to the top of the rise, so you too can feel what it's like to be me, off balance, wild and falling, and in that moment wonder why you needed to be still at all. So let me take your ticket and tear it into 1,000 tiny pieces and board my ride without a height requirement, where the price of admission is the guardian angel of your preconceived notions and the hidden fee of your calm, and you'll swear at the end of this madness that you've never seen a sunset so red or a sunrise so bright, and that deep down, bedrock of your soul deep down, you've never felt more alive or more like home.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Andy.
That was so good. Wow.
Oh, baby. Very good.
And it is home.
Oh, yeah.
Andy, what a way to start off, man. Bringing us off balance. Starting us off. The theme is equilibrium when we started off so off balance. Should have had Andy go later. Andy, where can the people find you online?
You can find me on Instagram at Andy Meerkat with 2 T's. It's the name on the Zoom thing, but I'll chuck it in the chat.
Awesome. Thank you. Make sure you check out Andy at Andy Meerkat. Awesome. And if you want to know why he's called Meerkat, you should have been here last week when he shared the poem. We do this every Monday at 8 p.m. Eastern, so make sure you come back and check us out. Next coming up is someone who I think has only performed once on the Monday Night Online Open Mic, but she has checked it out a few times, and that is Sophie K. Let me unmute Sophie. You should be able to, there we go. Hi, Sophie. How are you today?
I'm good. I actually have not performed here before. I've been on the wait list and I got so excited that I set an alarm. So here I am in spot number 2 this week.
Yes. Well, I'm glad that you're here with us. Where are you located?
I'm currently in Atlanta, Georgia.
Oh, Atlanta. All right. It's got a nice art scene out there, I heard. Is that true?
Yeah, it's all right.
It's all right. It's all right. All right. Well, welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic. I'm glad that you made the list. You ready to go?
I am. Forewarning for the public here. This is my first time performing a poem in public, but that's why I'm here. So yeah, this actually wasn't written for this theme. It's called The Unlucky Amendment, and it definitely speaks to a lack of equilibrium though. It's been inspired from The 13th by Ava DuVernay. I was super inspired after watching that documentary. So this is my poem. The United States has 25% of the world's prison concentration, but a mere 5% of the world's population. If we are the home of the free and land of the brave, if we are home of the brave and land of the free, how does this work? Please tell me. It's because the 13th Amendment abolished slavery. If you read between the lines, you'll find it unsavory. Those written words highlight a key exception. Was it well intended or was it a deception? It bans slavery except as punishment for a crime. So if you are imprisoned doing time, to involuntary servitude, you'd be once again bound. This was a loophole most profound. From Emancipation Proclamation, for many, led to elation, but they had no idea of the forthcoming damnation or the coming segregation in this damnation. The Southern states criminalized minor offenses, forcing freedmen to work if they could not pay the expenses. While those Black slaves fought so hard to be free, their liberty was all but a guarantee. After risking their lives fighting for the Union, hoping their rights would be added to the Constitution, they were imprisoned just for misdemeanors. There was no one to serve as interveners. So even if there was no real evidence, Black men were jailed with prevalence. The Black codes restricted the freedmen's freedom, deprived them of their rights without reason. It led to convict leasing, or slavery by another name. So much for emancipation, it was all again the same. Yes, 1865 was indeed a different time, but guess who is still the most convicted group of crime? It's the same ones who are targets of stop and frisk. To the police, your skin determines your risk. No, I'm not just being cynical. The media has painted Black men as criminal. Black and brown people, targets of war and crime, private prisons capitalize on this prime time. From companies inflating prices for prisoners still called loved ones, to serving food with maggots being worse than being fed breadcrumbs. JCPenney and Victoria's Secret exploited prison labor and did so until their supply secret was exposed in nature. It may come to your astonishment, but corporations are still profiting from punishment. Thanks to ALEC, the political lobbying group, legislation proposed by politicians willing to stoop, passing laws that directly benefit corporations, using their power to loosen regulations. Negative impact lasts for generations. There are too many examples of these situations. Like if you're feeling threatened while safe and sound, you can legally follow someone to stand your ground. And that's why Trayvon Martin's killer is free, even though he committed murder in the second degree. Khalif Browder was held at Rikers for 3 years, wrongly accused, but his defense fell on deaf ears. How many people are shackled with their hands on bars? These are Americans, these people are ours. Mass incarceration has become so heavily monetized. This is happening, but let us stop it from being finalized. How many more cops will choke out the life of an Eric Gardner or a George Floyd? How many more children, instead of having a parent, will just have a void? How many people have been sent to their grave? America, it is time to be brave. Time to be brave. This is a path we must pave. We need to recognize these inhumane offenses. It is time we come to our senses. There's much we can do beyond casting a vote. Honor those who died with a knee on their throat. Let us engage in civil unrest. Let us stand together. Let's protest. I say it proudly, Black Lives Matter. Go send the military, we will not scatter. Even when police officers start to get physical, we know we are at a moment that is pivotal, critical. If you're Black, brown, or white, every person I invite, not incite. It's our time to unite and use our might. So let us vow to smite the laws we must rewrite. It might be quite obvious or even trite. We must take this fight instead of flight. Do so in spite of Trump's every slight. Yes, changing society is quite the plight, but we are strong, we are bright. Let's ignite the fight to do what is right.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Sophie.
Very nice.
That was bomb for the first trip, baby. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank y'all.
Wow. Wow. Great poem.
People like Sophie. Sophie, after we're done talking, make sure you go into the chat and check all the nice things the people are saying about you. Sophie, where can the people find you online?
People can find me on Instagram at It's Okay. I will post in the chat. I don't actually post any poetry, but I can start posting poetry.
Awesome, awesome. Sophie, thank you so much for joining us. And I'm glad that you got in this time. Thank you. That was Sophie K. Make sure you check the chat. She's going to put her info in there. And I just heard that it's Overdose's birthday. Happy birthday to Overdose. I'm actually not going to make fun of the Mets today because of last week, what happened with Tom Seaver. All due respect, rest in peace to a great pitcher. My love goes out to my Met fans. So next coming on the list, we are going to Central Massachusetts for another mainstay of the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and that is Christina. Let me unmute Christina. Should be able to unmute. There she is. How are you, Christina?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Did you eat well today?
It's Monday.
Oh,
I don't know. I feel like Labor Day is like a really odd holiday. Like I used to work retail, so sometimes I've worked. Today I had to work this morning because I still had personal training clients. Like It's Monday.
I get you. You're not a 9 to 5 or independent contractor. Still got to work.
And I also do work a 9 to 5 job too.
Oh, okay. Oh, so you putting in that extra time and you find time to be with us. I love it.
And class starts on Wednesday.
Oh, we're getting back to classes now. Oh, that are we gonna get back to drinking too? Is that we're gonna have our libations on Monday night again? All right, awesome. All right, you ready to add to tonight's energy?
Yeah, so I mixed last week's theme with this one because technical difficulties. I just took it as a sign that I did not need to be here last week. I just needed to like take a break. So mixing last week's theme with this week's theme. Okay. Starlight, Starbright, the first lie that I ever actually told, because you weren't the first star that I saw burning in the sky. But I thought that I could make a wish, as though magic wasn't just for fairy tales, as though magic could jump from the book pages into the air, wrap around me warmly and sweep me off my feet, tuck me into bed. The moon rises, it races past the sun, whispering sweet dreams as it finds its place in the sky, promising to take care of the night as calmly as possible. It's persuasive. It acts as though storms don't thrive in darkness and quiet when no one is watching. The moon is such a good liar. The moon has ulterior motives. It kisses the sun and tucks it into bed while it gestures for anxiety to come out of the closet with a finger. It gives them a chance to breathe and to live vibrantly. The moon is the taunting friend asking you to break curfew. But anxiety convinces you of all of the adventures that you would be missing out on if you undress and slip onto your nightgown. Together, they tell you that you will always sleep when you are dead, that tonight is the time to be alive, and you haven't really quite lived yet anyway. Windows open, sucking air from the room outside, feet hitting the ground, running, panting, sprinting, claws digging into the mud, sinking deeper, trying to find solace in unsettled earth, forearms shimmying, crawling out of my skin, splitting into two parts, trying to find stability, 2 parts that clash like cymbals at the end of a parade, 2 parts that are really 4 parts but become really more. Too many identities that I hold on to, not knowing which mask goes with which hat, mixing them up from time to time because it is too hard to allow them to coexist. A howl, a prayer, a wish on a star, asking, begging for more time to roam free, to live in this transformed life, to live empowered, embracing wide open spaces, to give more direction than breadcrumb paths, because you can go any way that you choose, because forward is forward, even if it is slightly at an angle, and fingers stretched wide, catching raindrops as they fall, wanting to catch everything that the sky drops, because as vast as it is, it just sometimes can't. Because I enjoy pressure and the weight of the world is heavy, but it doesn't seem quite backbreaking to seek to learn how to hold on to that spark that ignites the fire that leaves you wanting more, being fearless and bold and willingly accepting the love that is deserved, forgiving the radioactive, unstable atoms that prevent bonding, prevent balance, charged emotionally, trying to downplay reactions, to be thoughtful, to have pause, craving patience that will just never come. Climbing back into that empty room, turning back against the window, pulling out chalk from my pocket, trying to draw boundaries so that I can trace my steps back to the open air from my bed so I can go through those moments later. Cherry picking the memories so that I can fight for another day, building a shield that will give me space to morph without doubt.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Christina.
Thank you.
Christina, lighten it up as always. Unmute yourself, Christina. You should be able to.
There we go.
There we go. So, Christina, where can the people find you online?
Okay, so my Instagram and my website are Run, Sweat, Eat, Repeat. So I do post poetry there. I post lifting stuff there too, and food and just like life stuff. So
Christina's hella strong. Make sure you check out her Instagram. And I swore you were like 5'8". I swore you were like at least 5'8".
I broke your heart when I said I was 5'3 3/4, and you were like, "No, you're not." And I was like, Yeah, it's all about hitting them angles. Like, no, I'm very short.
And that's amazing because it makes all of your lifting that much more impressive. So
It actually doesn't, because that's such an advantage when you're that closer to the ground.
center of gravity. Say, just take the compliment, Christina. Just take the compliment.
I'm gonna take it, but I'm just letting you know that it's just a structural advantage being shorter.
Thank you, Christina. I appreciate it. Bringing find the time for the poetry, find the time for working out, find the time to actually work, make money, and to write. It's fantastic. Make sure y'all follow Christina. She's gonna put the info in the chat. Put the info in the chat. Christina, Run, Sweat, Eat, Repeat on Instagram. She's a good follow. Shout out to my boy Chilo, who I see just joined in the chat here in Zoom. Chilo, I've been trying to get Chilo on this open mic. He is killer. Y'all would love him. And he's a history teacher. All right, moving forward. Next coming up to the open mic. Oh, I like that. It is, where is she? Trisha De Jesus. Where are you, Trisha? You are up next. And I don't see, oh, I see her now. I see her now with her, with the red,
the red.
There we go. There we go. It should have been popped out. The red curtain. It should have popped out. How are you today, Trisha?
Trying to be good.
Oh, you're trying to be good. Oh, you're up to some bad things. Okay. Listen. Because of my past activity, the feds are watching us, so don't say anything. Okay? We're just gonna have you get into your poem. You ready?
Yep.
Go ahead.
So it's just a short one this afternoon. It kind of has a little bit of reference to equilibrium, at least, equilibrium within my own self. Rent that space, rent that face to wear, but only stomp in the margins. When you learn the way you're supposed to act, you learn, hello, how are you? But are not required to wait for the answer. You are unguarded. It should barely register, but tilted askance is skewed in memory, where a lip is full to bursting, it morphs into a sneer, and it is now a menace. Your skin color, merely by existing, is lashing out on its own. Unless the reference is girls just outside the base on Subic Bay, or undulating in time to the wind in a grass skirt. You've come to expect the words bitch or cunt to pepper your landscape when spat out when, what's the phrase again? Oh, making up for smaller things. They have become words you fashion into spears and crowns. But how do you respond? How can you respond when before you stand sisters, these words season their lips, opening and closing right in your ear, trying out the feel of these words on their tongue? How do you respond? How can you respond when behind you stand sisters, these words, beneath lust espousing envy, clouding good judgment, to make them pant hard confusion into your hair? You are for once at a loss, but still you resolve not to smile, even if you're supposed to, because it makes you look prettier anyway.
Trisha De Jesus, everyone unmute yourself. Give it up for her.
Oh my God. Lady.
Trisha De Jesus, always going in, man. Her knowledge of poetry is fantastic. That is how I first came to recognize her. Trisha, where can the people find you online?
Instagram at Finn_Bell. I can never say it correctly. Finn_Bell. I'll put it in the comments. Yep.
Yes. And Finn spelled with PH for those listening. Make sure you put it in the comments. Thank you, Trisha. I always appreciate you. Trisha De Jesus. I will never forget when she said the word anaphora. She heard another poet's poem. She picked up that there was an anaphora in there, and I was like, oh, I love it. The nerd in me got all tingly. All right, next come to the mic is another nerd, and I love her furry, and that is Jenna Can Do No Wrong Fleeson, who's supposed to be at school, but I think she's playing hooky. What's up, Jenna? You playing hooky?
I'm not playing hooky. I'm just visiting, and my Monday class is online, so I'm here.
Okay. Cool. No playing hooky. Cool. Yes. All right. That's what's up. Did you enjoy your Labor Day?
Yes, it was a good time. We went to Idaho. Yeah, we just kind of looked around at Idaho. It was nice though.
Did you eat well?
Yes, we had tofu stuff. Zach is vegan, so it was a good time.
Okay.
I wouldn't go back to Idaho, but it was a good time.
You said that like such a good girlfriend. Zach is vegan, but we had a good time.
Yeah.
All right. I'm gonna stop picking on you guys. I'm gonna let you do your poem. Go ahead, Jenna.
Okay. So this is a poem that I wrote a little while ago, and I felt like it fit very well with the prompt. It's called "What Are You?" I stare into the mirror and see the unfamiliar face stare back at me and say, "Who are you?" I tell her I couldn't possibly answer such a question. She asks me, "What are you?" I can't seem to answer that either. Mixed white and black babies call themselves Oreos. I think it's awfully a shame that my identities couldn't be compared to a cookie. I guess I'm just not that sweet. Because I tell my white friends about my fatherly heritage in order to make them feel more comfortable. My Arab friends only hear me speak their familiar tongue. I don't dare let the Berber dialect shine through, make sure they can't hear the colonized words between my teeth. I reassure them I understand the Arabic they speak, even though it's mostly through context clues. When the black girl I sit next to and eat lunch with at school asks, I tell her I'm African. I wear my Tunisian flag on my chest, but even she quickly notes that my light skin makes me ooze with privilege she does not experience. Because when it comes to the struggles of Gaza or BLM, I am constantly told that those aren't my people, my battle, and I should just remain silent. Because I wear my hijab to appease my Arab friends, call myself African, not Black American, and everyone's got something to say about it. My Black American uncle tells me I don't embrace his skin color enough. I don't know how to tell him my advocacy has people talk about me, not to me when they've had enough. How all these people see my opinions as radically different as I begin disrupting their narrative. Don't know how to explain to him I haven't expelled my African heritage from my being, only they have told me to do so. Because when the black girl tells me that my activism is performative, that I shouldn't judge her for telling me to stop speaking up, I say, Khali, Uncle Skia, how could I call them my people too when she feels the need to differentiate me from them and you? And when my white father begins to shout out, all lives matter, how can I remind him of such white privilege when he claims it doesn't exist, when others constantly persist that he couldn't be racist because he married my African mother? When I sit at the table with my Arab friends, they tell me North Africa doesn't count. They claim that my country was colonized by the French and that the hummus has been mistaken for brie and that I shouldn't even speak. And I stare in the mirror as the girl stares back at me and I muster the words, Tunisian? She tells me I wasn't born in that country and that the Tawansa will never accept me because wherever I go to my mother's home, my distant family expects gifts to show their love and appreciation towards me because American almonds, soaps, shoes, and clothing are more powerful than an I miss you could ever really be. And I cry in the mirror and say, well, where do I even fit? I apologize to my white friends for not being easy to piece together in the puzzle they feel entitled to put together. I apologize to my Black family for not fitting with your pieces enough. I'm not quite sure why this means we are of a different puzzle set. I apologize to my Arab friends for not being from the right country. I don't know why this means we can't play puzzles together anymore. I look into the mirror and the girl has disappeared. I stare back into the mirror. I look back at myself and I ask myself in my head, I ask, what am I? I whisper out loud. I say, human.
Yes, unmute yourself and give it up for Jenna.
Yeah. Yeah. We win.
Yes.
Yes.
Jenna can do no wrong, fleecing.
Respect.
Let me make sure we get everyone muted and then unmute Jenna. You should be able to unmute yourself. Oh, wait. Let's do it one more time. I really felt that. Yeah, you should be able to unmute yourself, Jenna.
Yes.
Oh, there we go. I really felt that because like my background is so mixed. I'm like Puerto Rican, Russian, English, Italian, French, German, Dutch. It's crazy. And then my mother's Catholic, my father's Jewish. It was like, so you going into that? I loved it. Jenna, where can the people find you online?
If you guys want to follow me, you guys can follow me on my poetry account. It's Jenna's Poems with the Z at the end. Also put it in the chat. and I'm going to be uploading more stuff there. And till then, you can just come here. I know I took a little break, but I'm going to be back every Monday, so I'm very excited for that new system. It's going to be a good time, and I missed you all very much. So
awesome. Thank you, Jenna. That is Jenna Fleeson. Also, as a reminder, next week's theme is learn something, teach something. We want a poem about something that you learned and then you taught someone else. Maybe it was something you learned from a family member, passed down from a teacher, whatever it is. Learn something, teach something. Next, coming up, we are going to the South, to Florida, and Mr. Brian Franco. Where is Brian? I swore I saw him before. Every time I go to call Brian, I have a hard time finding him. Brian Franco. Oh, I don't think he's here right now. Oh, there he is. No, there he is. There he is. I always have a hard time finding him. I don't know why. You should be able to unmute yourself, Brian.
I'm unmuted.
There we go, brother.
And since Maine is in the middle of Florida, you know, I'm glad because it means it's a lot hotter than I really thought it was today. So.
Oh, it was a lot. It was.
I'm in.
Well,
Maine, not Florida, sir.
Oh, say it again. You froze,
from
bro.
Maine.
Oh, you're in Maine.
Yes.
Why did I think Florida? Oh, Brian, this whole time I thought you were in Florida and hanging out with beaches with these gorgeous women and everything. No, you stuck in Maine. Oh, I didn't know. I'm sorry, brother.
You got a lot of things off the mark there, but that's okay. Let's go ahead and thank you for putting me behind Jenna because that's always a good place to be.
Well, I know you can handle it. I know you can handle it, Brian. Go ahead.
Okay, so I'm going to roll through because I got 3 pieces, and the first is from 1994, Nobody Knows Nothing Anyway. Some people claim they know all the facts. Some people claim God gave them the axe. Some people claim they know the world like the backs of their hands. Some people just bury their heads in the sand. Some people claim they know all the answers, but never give answers away. Nobody knows nothing anyway. Some people won't kiss unless they can kiss and tell. Some people worry they'll end up in hell. Some people got pushed off cliffs and some fell. Some spent many a night in seedy motels. Some people don't like their lives, so they sell their souls away. Nobody knows nothing anyway. Some people live, sleep, and eat in the streets. Some people do whatever they please. Some people eat lobster and beluga, caviar. Some people just ride around in their Mercedes-Benz cars. Some people serve other people food from sterling silver trays. Nobody knows nothing anyway. Some people always wanted to be class clown. Some people lost the desire to clown around. Through Jesus, Elvis, or Buddha, some people get found. Some people scream loudest without making a sound. Some people run round and round in circles every single day. Nobody knows nothing anyway. Some people live life for yesterday. Some people live life all work and no play. Some people live life like tomorrow is the end. Some people live life in a world of pretend. Some people like life the way it is, or so they say. Nobody knows nothing anyway. Okay, the next piece is brand new. And I gotta get to the title, bear with me. Beware when entering the poetry Zoomosphere. A friend invites you to watch poetry on Zoom for the first time. You say, I don't think I'm a poetry person. You decide to watch. But remember, for a poet, sitting in a chair hunched over a laptop isn't as comfortable as standing on a stage, which allows for more movement and expression. It's about the poetry, not a perfect performance. Listen to the carefully chosen words, rhyme, rhythm, flow, and verbal acrobatics. Don't be afraid when you hear non-existent music behind a poem. It is not uncommon when a poet is thinking or writing a poem to hear a jazz combo accompanying his or her piece. The steady bum, bum, bum of an upright bass, the perfectly placed wah, wah of trumpets and trombones during pauses, even some whispery drum tapping. If you find yourself swaying to a poem like it's a good folk song, you can now call yourself a poetry person. Welcome to the Poetry Zoomosphere. Put pins and brightly colored comic books on your shopping list because one day soon, something out of the blue will trigger a poem in you. And I have about a 30-second piece called Falling Free. They are yellow, red, orange, green, and brown. They are maroon, rust, ochre, umber, goldenrod, burnt sienna, and sunshine. They are paprika, turmeric, ginger, cinnamon, cardamom, and mace. They are mustard, ketchup, barbecue sauce, and salsa. They are melted processed cheese atop blue tortillas with avocado, purple olives, red onion, and electric orange habaneros. They are every color in a carrot cake. They are a swirl, melted milk chocolate, and pureed raspberry. They are Mother Nature performing a striptease these autumn leaves. Gracias, everyone.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Brian, y'all.
That's Brian. That last line.
Oh, that's good.
Brian Franco. That was my favorite line. Miro quoted it, and she had put, if you find yourself swaying to a poem like it's a folk song. Yes, poetry's supposed to have rhythm. I love it. Don't tempt the Zoom gods, though, man. I'm producing tonight. I'm by myself.
Well, I want to say the word Zoomosphere I invented, and I want to coin it. So start using it, everyone, because I think it's a good word for all this crap we do on Zoom. Not the poetry, but what we have to go through. It's a Zoomosphere.
I hear you. I hear you. Here's actually a fun tip for everyone, because I had seen your post in terms of trying to coin like a word or a term that you make up. You have to get it published. And if it gets published, then, and you're the first one to publish it, then people could start to credit you with the term. I'm not sure if you'll make money off of it, but this is how we go back in time in history and we figure out words, where they were coined and when things started, just to let y'all know. But Brian, where can people find you online?
Oh, I'm just on Facebook under my name, Brian Ira Franco.
Thank you, Brian. Brian Franco, the Zoomosphere. I love it. I love it. I'm going to start using it now. Okay, next coming up is someone who is new to the Monday Night Online Open Mic, and that is Jessica Frazier. I believe I saw Jessica. Oh, I see Jessica. She just waved to me. She gave me a good smile. Yes, you should be able to unmute yourself, Jessica.
Hey.
How are you? Would you like me to call you Jess or Jessica?
You know, I go by either one, whatever people remember. Sometimes people call me Jennifer, so really whatever kind of floats off your lips works. Yeah, so I'm new.
Awesome. Where are you located?
I'm in Oklahoma City, so yeah.
All right, cool. Well, welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic. You ready to add to the energy?
Absolutely. So I started writing pretty heavily this year. And I kind of have a lot to work with, so I didn't really know what to read, but I didn't want to get too freaky and I didn't want to kind of like scare the shit out of you. So this is what I came up with. I hope you like it. It's called How I Fell. Have you ever seen an apple grow? I've spent years staring down at those trees from my bedroom window, waiting for the moment that a ripened fruit will take flight, leaping from the embrace of its mother branch and into the arms of an earthly lover. But it's in those moments between spring and autumn, between the blossoming of an infant and its mad dash to freedom, that it becomes what it was meant to be. And that becoming is not pretty. It is a shriveled raisin on a vine when the petals fall and the pollen turns dry, when the fruit is green and unsweetened, bitter and putrid, not ready for the tongue. It is from this metamorphosis that its birth transitions to maturity. And in the same way that an apple blossom reinvents itself, I want you to see my love anew, because my love for you was vibrant once. It took your breath away as if you were holding the seed of human lust in your hand, as if my heart was an Eden and you were just a man standing next to a younger woman. A tired moon being eclipsed by a morning star. And maybe you thought that blossoms weren't meant to come apart, weren't meant to break, unless they soared like fireworks, weren't meant to fall, unless they folded gracefully into your arms. But when I crumbled and the illusion shattered, you couldn't have run fast enough. And I wish my older self could have told your younger self, wait. This is not the time to run away. This is not the time to chase another sunrise, another Eve, another Eden. When her pieces fall apart, you hold them tightly to your chest and wait for the metamorphosis to unfold around you. Because my love for you in autumn is fiercer than my love for you in springtime, my heart tells the story of eternities. I carry the code of precious futures in my womb. I can withstand the heat of people's skepticism and the cold front that is lingering on the horizon. I am strong enough to take you on and sweet enough for you to take a bite. And if you reach for me, love, I will fall for you. Like an apple blossom folding in your hand, like a ripened fruit pressed against your lips. And that's it.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Jessica
Wow,
Frazier.
that was so beautiful. Beautiful.
Oh my God.
Gotta be a piece of fruit.
That was Jessica Frazier, aka Jess Frazier, aka Jennifer Frazier. Jess, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Absolutely.
There we go. So, where can the people find you online?
For sure. So this is pretty new, but you can find me on Instagram under She Speaks Truth Poetry. Just go ahead and take a peek, and I'll be adding new stuff soon.
Awesome. Thank you, Jess. Also, make sure that you check out the chat. A lot of people have good things to say about you. And believe me when I say we don't scare easily. So the crazier, the freakier, the scarier the poem, the better. We love that here. But that was a great introduction to the community. I hope you come back next week.
Absolutely. Thanks.
Thank you. That was Jessica Frazier. Oh, I appreciated that. And people really dug her voice too. They dug the poem. I love it. And the way it ended, the apple reached for me. That was awesome. I love when we get new people adding to the community. Okay, next coming back. This is like a new person coming to the community because he hasn't been here in a while. Maybe he's been stuck in Idaho. And that is Mr. Zachary Anderson White. You should be able to unmute yourself. What's going on, brother? How are you?
I'm okay. Okay. There's a correction. I have a correction to make. So the drone was like, hey, you're shaking Jenna's arm like you wanted her to say something nice. No, I wanted her to tell the story of when we went to Idaho. Okay, and there was like this like Trump like voter like parade rally, but the weather was really bad and it was really windy, and so they like had to cancel it to just be on land, which is what happens when you don't trust like meteorology science. Your parade gets canceled. So that's what I wanted her to tell that story. Anyway.
I heard one of the boats actually sank, or a couple of them sank.
Yeah, there are a lot of boats sinking in the Trump era. So anyway, okay. I have a poem. Everyone's like really nervous about what's going on, right? About all the things. And I wanted to give people some like peace of mind. And so I'm gonna read everyone's horoscope for the next week, if that's all right. And apparently I'm a Taurus, and apparently Jenna's an Aries. Well, I don't know what that means. I think the whole thing's BS, but I read the stars, and here it is. Aquarius, you've never been close to Jesus, but this week you can look forward to your very own, if less momentous, Last Supper. Pisces, they say you can't judge a book by its cover, but you probably didn't need to read the unabridged version of Chalk. A look at the production and effect on American chalkboards between 1874 and 1901. Aries, Curious George will finally stop being curious and make up his mind about you. Quote, you are chaotic and insecure. Taurus, this would be a good moment to get rid of anything that still stands between you and achieving your goals, including the people who still stand between you. Damn it, including the people who impede your success. Vanquish your foes, let the plebs cower before your might. Eviscerate them with your horns as you're showered in blood, and watch the life recede from their eyes. Also, it might be time to rekindle an old flame. Gemini, your birthday is June 19th, or the day after, or the 28 days before. And it's gonna be a cool present when you meet your long lost identical twin. But not as cool of a present as when, in a case of mistaken identity, your partner finds out that your twin, despite being your twin, is somehow way better in bed. Cancer. Cancer, you won't get cancer or crabs. Leo, this week you'll learn why you should stop describing your love for cars as autoeroticism. Virgo, it's time for you to start a new business, whatever your heart desires. But if I were to make a recommendation, I'd recommend a restaurant. Not really a restaurant. It'll really be a front for illegal mahjong gambling. But it can't be an authentic Chinese restaurant because all authentic Chinese restaurants are illegal mahjong fronts. I'm looking at you, Panda Express. So instead, start a Mexican restaurant called Pablo's Asparagus. People wonder, who's Pablo? And question why none of the dishes have asparagus. And ask, is Pablo's Asparagus a sexual innuendo? But no one will think it's an illegal mahjong front. Libra, you've always had a problem taking decisive action. Too bad for those kids you could have saved from the truck. But at least you can console yourself with froyo. If only you could decide between sprinkles and hot fudge. Scorpio, your hope of becoming a poet will come to an end when you realize somebody else has compared their love to the beauty, strength, and growth of a tree. Sagittarius, you will learn from the mistake of the Scorpio and compare your love to the relative elasticity of producers and consumers in Brazilian soybean markets. And Capricorn, this week you'll be arrested when the Canadian government provides irrefutable evidence that you are a 3-time suicide bomber. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up to Zachary.
I'm going to need you to repeat that line about Libra. What?
Everyone's like, wait. How's my week going to be? Repeat that. Zachary, where can the people find you online so that they can get their horoscopes?
Yes. Most weeks I will be, and every week there will be a broken mic, which is a weekly poetry open mic Wednesday nights. That is at 6:30 Pacific time. That includes both the great states of Washington and Idaho. And that will be online. Broken mic. If you put in broken mic Spokane or broken mic poetry, you'll find it on Facebook. I'll also post the link and stuff in the chat, so you can take a look. And hope to see all of you there, students. Thank you very much.
Awesome. Zachary Anderson White. Make sure you check that out. And Zach, make sure you go into the chat. And everyone loved the added production value of Jenna laughing after every line. They loved it, man. I think that's kind of cheating, right? You got someone there to root you on while everyone else were alone in front of the computer. All right, whatever. Let's keep it moving. Next coming up is the teacher from New York City, Matthew Weintraub, who we had to mute last week because he's in New York City and he hasn't been to the cafe. Wait, where is, I saw him, oh, there he goes. There he goes, looking like a Sassoon model and whatnot. He's like, I just woke up like this with my hair, man. Look at that. You, Matthew, you are going to contend with our producer, Jason, for best hair. How are you today, Matthew?
I'm doing great. Feeling really grateful after getting back from camping with my partner and my dog. So, simple things in life.
Be honest, Matthew. Who do you like more, your dog or your partner?
I'm gonna abstain from answering at this moment.
Your partner's there, and that's why you don't want to say dog. I get it. It's all
my dog's here too, so it's tough. So this poem it's pretty short. When I heard the theme was equilibrium, I thought to a lesson that I teach about Aristotle's golden mean, and that is what this poem is about. Cool. So I hope you enjoy it. Love. I don't usually write love poems, and I won't start here because this is a story more about fear, gory feelings that appear and barrage us with mere mirages of future years. But it's not clear if it's sutured. It's in flux, in the crux of uncertainty. Insecurity. It really sucks. Pain. Avoided at all cost. Accosted by fear, seared in my mind, designed to avoid tears. To travel the same path, to have a predictable future is to live in the past. Because the present can't last, but it's just so slow when we want it fast. Pleasure. Obtain it at all cost, accosted by desire, mired by a fire that must burn brighter as thresholds grow tighter. The pressure starts to build, to all moments filled, to always wander, to never squander, and ever ponder, is it enough? Excess. More. When do we stop craving what we're poor for, before we matured? A downpour, lured to avoid a violent osmosis, a predatory form of psychosis, blind to your drowning in greed, in need of need, the need to feed gluttonously. We don't bleed, we gush as we rush, flushed to the brim, overflowing but still grim. Better we dim everything. Deficit. Too little isn't better. Don't fetter, don't ration your passions, don't fashion bastions barren. More pour inside where stored lies lie. They echo and blow, they crescendo until they erupt and disrupt the balance you never had. The golden mean. Love like a gardener, or droughts will harden your heart. Your land arid sand until geysers spout from misers of emotion, and your vice enticed to dump the jug and flood the buds, flooded in mud. Be patient, be steady, be ready to regulate your pours rate of fear and hate, to saturate and not drown or starve the stoles, homeostasis, sprouting the oasis of your future's fertility, love.
Unmute yourselves and give it up for Matthew.
Yes.
Yo, man.
Matthew Weintraub, the teacher. You know what? You also look a little bit like Aaron Rodgers. Do you watch football, Matthew? You look a little bit like Aaron Rodgers right now. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself one more time. There you go.
I don't know the sports that well, but I'll take that as a compliment. I'll take that.
Yeah, he plays for a team I hate, but I respect him because he's that good. Right? So he that's come from a compliment. That's a compliment. Matthew, how can the people find you online, brother?
You can find me on my Instagram at matt.eeee, and I just put that in the chat. So I post my poems there. I've got a bunch that I've written, but I just haven't gotten a chance to do the Instagram because I don't care that much about the Instagram. So yeah, appreciate y'all. Oh, that's me.
Yep, that's Aaron Rodgers. Overdose put up the screen. That's Aaron Rodgers right there.
That's me 10 more years into the future.
That's you as a multi-millionaire, all right? And he dated Danica Patrick. Really, look him up. Thank you, Matthew. I appreciate your time, brother. Matthew Weintraub. He's a teacher. He got into sharing his poetry because he's going to make his students do it. So he was like, hey, I better do it first. So, okay, next come to the mic is the apple of my eye. Nobody look too hard at her. This is my lady, and that is Catherine. Catherine, you should be able to unmute yourself now.
Hey, ads.
So, no problem signing up this week, right?
Oh my God, immediate. It was great. And I wrote a piece for tonight. It's short also.
Awesome. All right, I'm ready to hear it. Go ahead.
Okay, let me just look. Wait, here we go. It's called Equilibrium. Anyway, equilibrium, equitable, Equifax, equality, equinox, electricity, equilibrium, lithium, the scales of freedom and Lady Liberty, transformation of Akashic records through modern day technology. Because I'm at the TV screen, I'm watching movies, not one or two, but three. See, I can change the channels and watch all three. That's how my attention span goes. That's how my attention span flows. I'm watching TV news, I'm watching not one, two, or three. See, I can change the channels intermittently so I can watch CNN, MSNBC, and the BBC. That's how my attention span goes. That's how my attention span flows. Did I mention I have 3 TVs? So actually I can watch up to 3 scary shows, 1, 2, 3, and just look back and forth between all 3. I'm at the TV screen. I'm watching scary movies, not 1 or 2, but 3. See, I can look at all the channels intermittently. That's how my attention span goes. That's how my attention span flows. I'm watching comedy shows. I'm watching lots of TV news. I'm watching super scary movies, not 1 or 2, but 3. See, I can change the channels intermittently. Equilibrium, equitable, equality, equine, equinox, electricity, equilibrium with lithium, the scales of freedom and Lady Liberty, transformation of Akashic records through my modern day technology.
Yes, unmute yourselves and give it up for Catherine.
On all 3 screens.
ADD.
Shout out ADD, attention deficit hyper disorder. That is so me. This poem is so me. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself one time, Catherine, and let the people know where they can find you.
All or nothing, yay. I have a website. On that website, there's Facebook, there's, what's the other one? SoundCloud, that's my music. And then I have some stuff on YouTube. Check it out. Thank you for letting me share.
Awesome. Thank you, Catherine. Make sure you put that information into the chat as well. That is Catherine. Make sure that you go give her a follow, but don't slip into her DMs, man, all right? It's me and Catherine. Don't slip into her DMs. All right. Next coming up is another person named Catherine, and let me make sure I get that last name right. Catherine Sweeney. Is Catherine Sweeney here? This is the first time yes, I see Catherine waving. You should be able to unmute yourself now. Hi, Catherine. How are you?
Hi. I'm good.
Where are you from?
Well, I just moved to LA.
Oh, okay. Where'd you move from?
New York.
Oh, okay. Where in New York?
The city.
Oh, okay.
I lived in the city for 20 years and I just moved here.
Okay.
Quarantine.
No, I hear it's kind of bad in LA too. So is it?
Yeah. I mean, it's not, it's the suburbs, so it's not that bad, but you know, it's bad everywhere, right?
Awesome.
Yeah,
no, it is. It is. It totally is. So welcome to the Monday Night Online Open Mic. It's a pleasure to have you. Are you ready to add to tonight's energy?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. This poem is called I Can't Quit You, Baby. This morning, there's a single bird wing suspended from a string outside my window. When I step into the light, a bent and savage outline shadows my face. I consider a tattoo. Did you hang this bird for me? I can't imagine your bare hands dismantling a pigeon, all of the violence and sinew. When for all of yesterday you burned me down slow, your face framed by my thighs, in a light that took all day to recede, before you put your body inside of my body, before I bit into my lip and you called me cum slut, the arch of my back steadied by your hands, air thick with the smell of bloody mouth, metallic thick, stretching and re-stretching my skin in a drowsy heap. I'm told some secrets need to stay secret. Today you've come and gone, like the echo of the back door slamming against the frame.
Okay. Everyone unmute yourself and give it up for Catherine.
Oh,
Catherine, that was gorgeous.
Thank you.
Very nice.
Yes.
Thank you.
I saw a couple of people got taken aback after a few of those, the opening of the poem. People like, what? I'm going to unmute you one more time. There you go. Then what it is, Catherine, I mute everyone after they clap, and then I have to unmute you so you can talk again. You went in, and just to let you know, in a couple of weeks, I host an erotic open mic. If you're interested in stuff like that, it's on Saturdays. So, but
all right,
Catherine,
all right,
where can the people find you online, Catherine?
I'll put my Instagram on here.
Awesome. Okay, Catherine, we have a tradition here. Let me put you in the spotlight, and the people from the New York, they know what's coming next. I have to ask you, because you lived in New York City for 20 years, okay, did you ever go to the physical New York Poets Cafe?
I didn't.
Catherine, I have to mute you. Sorry, Catherine, I had to mute you. That is the tradition here at the New York Poets Cafe. If you live in New York City or have been there for several years and you've not been to the cafe, after you do your poem and let us know where you can find you, we have to mute you. Sorry, Kat, had to do it. You're like the 14th person that I've had to mute, but when you come back, I won't mute you again. It's only a one-time thing. It's a one-off mute, all right? This is why they call me the mutinator. So, Catherine, thank you for joining us. Make sure that you put your information into the chat. And how do you live in New York City and you have not been to the New York Poets Cafe? We've had people from Istanbul and Japan who have come over to the cafe. So when we open up again, Catherine, I expect you to come back to New York City and go to the cafe. So that was Catherine Sweeney. Make sure you give her a follow. And I haven't seen her put her information in the chat yet, but Catherine, make sure you put your information into the chat. So next coming up is Sam Park. Let me unmute Sam.
What's up?
How are you? Our resident DJ, Sam.
All day, I've been good. Well, okay, that's debatable, but you know what? Writing helps. And I'm just really glad to be here, I'm just glad.
I love having you here. I love your energy. You ready to get into it?
Hell yeah.
Go ahead.
All right, friends. So, this poem is called Learning How to Let Myself Love. So, it goes like this. Slide into the DMs, hit me up in the AM, answer at 11 p.m., and then the cycle starts again. I know I sound bitter already, but looking at the storyline, we know it's threaded with intricate moments of something predictable, but something unsteady. You ready? Inconsistency happens to be the one thing that's consistent in my life. Inconsistent men with inconsistent motives, words inconsistent with action, and then there's a very consistent reaction of sudden distraction when I finally bring it to the surface. You get silent when I confront you, but somehow love it when I'm blunt with you, enjoying the roast but not listening to notes on your character when I cut you down to size. We epitomize the story of satisfied lies, even though I've tried to end this saga so many times. Yet every time, something hits me right on the side. Is it my gut? Is it wishful thinking? Or is it just my pride? Every new mistake of meeting a man brings a new scale of what I shouldn't tolerate versus what I think I can. But I understand that my instinct is to offer help. I see your feelings packed in a box on a dusty shelf, and I'm trying to read it, forgive it, and spread the wealth of knowledge that thinking logically does not always lend to loving oneself. And then the problem actually hits me. I think my curiosity is stretching me too thin. Sometimes I overthink because for once I just want to win, but the things I need to work on have always been exposed in the people I've held any interest in. It's like looking at a mirror, but watching for its next move. I see that sometimes I feel like I have so much to prove, but confronting that part of me would throw off the groove, and I'd rather just be patient than move on and move, but that's because it never feels good to walk away. Every disappointing moment I've had to weigh, making sure I swallow it with a grain of salt and ignore the bitterness to say I'm okay, even when I don't necessarily believe it. Your absence plays tricks on me and tells me to leave it and pack it into my own dusty box of forget-me-nots, filled with tattered notebooks that contain all of my sacred thoughts. But God forbid you take a shot at using the answers I gave you to open the lock on my standards that remain underfed. It seems like this hunger has left me to tread for any crumbs of enthusiasm when I share the pain that my past lives have bred and passed on to me so I can benefit from it instead, but the connection is dead. I want to know what it's like to be with someone and still be free, not with someone who'd get tired of rooting for me, but someone who can match me with their own immaculate dreams, not with someone who has an appetite to feed on my willingness to make things right. I want someone who renounces spite, holds promises tight, and at the end of the night will calm my anxious waves and with honest insight. So in hindsight, I stand by times when I picked up and left. I see that I was just holding the burden of an overstayed guest, trying to make the most of what was always second best. Eventually, I'll let myself love the right person and not have to second guess my own stability whenever stability is put to the test. So my next quest is actually to capture the heart in my own chest, let things rest and just let them proceed. I manifest self-love that coexists without too much need, a self-love that lets go of control but protects from advances stemmed from greed. I ask for what I want because that's what it takes in order to succeed, because a person that can love themselves is truly a person who is freed. I'm learning how to let myself love by learning how to love myself.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Sam.
Love you.
That's girl love.
Sam Park. got all emotional while sharing the poem. That was great.
It's a lot.
That was great. That's what we love to see. Sam, where can the people find you online?
Y'all can find me on Instagram. I got, well, the Instagram handle is @Zaddy_beats. And then I'm about to post this Spotify link for y'all to follow me and get your weekly groove going. You know, allow me to curate the vibe. I just want to help. But yeah, I'll put everything on the chat. Thank you so much, Advocate. And you're killing it tonight.
Thank you. I try. Right now, people think I'm listening to the open mic, but I'm listening to your Spotify. So I'm in the groove right now.
Okay, that's the vibe. I'm all right with that. You know, I won't tell. I ain't no snitch.
Hey, you didn't snitch from that thing we did the other time that we can't talk about, so I know I can trust you. Thank you, Sam. That is Sam Park. Make sure you give Sam a follow. And we are at the hour, which means I have to quickly take care of some business. We'd like to thank the National Endowment for the Arts, the New York State Council on the Arts, the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs, Amazon Literary Partnership, and the New York Community Trust for sponsoring our online events. You too can support us with a tax-deductible donation at nuyorican.org/contribute or to our Cash App to Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And if you want to join us on Zoom, the number is in the bottom left-hand corner, 279-995-364, 279-995-364, because we are streaming live on Facebook and on YouTube. Okay, with that being said, let us get back to the action. And we are going to our resident historian, Alexander the Goat Goldberg. Let me unmute him. Alexander, what's going on, brother? How are you?
Yeah, I'm good. Thank you. I'm here.
Yes,
I'm glad to be performing again.
I'm glad that you're here. Did you have a good Labor Day? Did you eat well?
Yeah, as always. Yeah, I'm always busy. I'm always searching for new topics to present to you. So today is no different. But yeah, I enjoy it. Of course. Yeah, sure.
All right, cool. So I'm gonna mute myself. I'm gonna let you get into it. Go ahead.
So, to keep the equilibrium in show business and politics is just as difficult as it is for the tightrope walker. The political equilibrium in the United States is supported by two wings, Democratic and Republican parties. They give us presidents, but often there is a third wheel. Today, it is Kanye West. Yesterday, he showed a trick as if he was walking on water and keeping equilibrium. In November, he will probably get his 2 or 3%, but could it be a shot for 2024? The poem that I'm presenting today will have several short pauses and real-life characters that you may know. The first one is Dame Dash, co-founder of Rockefeller Records. I ain't gonna lie, he surprised me a lot. I bet on him. West is like fire, he's hot. Today is my birthday, and he's standing near. He is very spiritual, very sincere. And we will release Kanye's album this fall. He knows no defeats, and he follows his goal. He always works hard, and he always goes forward, and that's how he differs from other performers. Rhymefest, childhood friend, co-author. We knew something would come out of it, though it was hard fight. I told Kanye, bro, there's a song you should write. So I sent him the track. He lived in New Jersey. He told me, listen to this with your phone, I got verses. He told me, I'm not sending this, but you're a trendsetter. So you will help me write this song, we'll do it together. The song is on my album, are you ready to listen? I said, yes, go ahead, and the beat was so fitting. He used drums in such way like more soldiers were marching. I flew out to Jersey and we started writing. And Kanye just said we should write about sins. And once we agreed, words came out from our pens. A few years before I made the Raw Dog album, and on the first track there were words that sounded like, you know what the Midwest is, wild and restless. And although I know that the song was so Kanye said at the beginning, so I start with that, bro. God, show me the way, because the devil's trying to break me. But who is he? The devil is what you went through. I want to talk to God, but I'm afraid because we ain't spoken so long. And if I talk about God, then won't they listen to my song? John Legend, singer. What makes the song special is beats and pulsation. It has drive and energy and interaction of different voices. It has choral part. It has my voice too. And what sets it apart is solo that plays in the background. And with this, we hear Kanye's voice and he says, I need Jesus. It was Kanye's vision that made it dynamic. It was Kanye's mission to make something epic, to make everybody aware of his presence. He needed a song that would show his whole essence. So many emotions this song still evokes with power and beauty. It's called Jesus Walks. Questlove, drummer of the Roots. There was bitter feeling I had in my soul. I was like, yo man, you had buried us all. It was change of guard. There's a reason for that. He came out with wings that were tied to his back. Rhymefest. It seemed like he was floating up in the sky. His first time at Grammys. I'm proud of this guy. Kanye. I speak sincere rap lyrics. It doesn't matter. If there's an obscene language, it's even better. Epilogue. He's honest, courageous, and everyone knew this. In Jesus Walks, he was most spiritual, purest. He was most sincere. He was at the right place. Religion and hip-hop were then interlaced. He did these things first and continued his flight. Some tried to divide us between left and right, but this was his center. We should understand it. His center of essence of being on this planet. Kanye. Yes, I could be misunderstood. I could be scolded. But I'm not pleasing anyone, just so you know it. The meaning of my life, the reason I'm on stage, to make a difference, to make a certain change. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Alexander.
And son.
Thank you.
Alexander the Goat Goldberg. Let me unmute him. Alexander, you got to meet my boy Chilo, who's also a historian. Y'all would really get into it. But
I'd love to.
Alexander, where can the people find you online?
Alexander Goldberg 35 on Facebook, Go 15 on Twitter, and Gorbensky on Instagram. I'll post it in the chat now.
Please do. Thank you. Alexander the Goat Goldberg. Make sure that you check him out, man. I love having him out. Always bringing something different, man. I appreciate him. Next, coming up, we are going from the Nuyorican Zoomosphere to the Skiff universe. And we're going with Paul Skiff, the OG. Brian, you like that I used your word, Brian? Let me unmute Paul. What's going on, Paul? How are you?
Who knows?
I hear you, man. I hear you.
We've been doing this. We made it, what? We all made it through 6 months of this now, right? So I'm just glad to see everybody here who's here. I really give thanks for everybody who keeps putting this up and coming here to be who they are. I give thanks for the friends I've had who got the microbe but made it through the sickness, and celebrate and praise the friend who took his own life and found his own equilibrium to get back out into the universe out of which we've all been brought down here to be here together.
Man, that's a poem in itself right there. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Skiff universe. You ready to go, Paul?
Yeah, I get to follow Alexander again. I want to rent his voice. I want a voice that's like a brick like that. You know, you can drive a semi into that voice and it wouldn't budge. I do have this one. I'm just going to do a short poem because I saw there's a bunch of people on the waiting list. I hope we get to, like Teza Somak and so forth. So I just do this one poem that does mention equilibrium, which is incredibly important to me. I spent years trying to get to equilibrium. I don't know if I ever got there, but I do know I learned how to bluff everything that tries to keep me away from it. So here we go. There's a mention in this poem of an organization called Synanon, which was a large and dangerous cult whose sister organization was Jim Jones's church, if you want to key into what that's about. She hit me for no real reason early on a gray morning, reliving it all. reliving being verbally demolished into a distant floor by the tribunal inquisition of elders in front of the entire 700 people assembled for the occasion of her destruction in the cafeteria at Synanon, then there to have her head shaved as judgment was pronounced, exiled to live in a tent behind barbed wire at the work camp out at Point Reyes during winter blusters, there to be seized by pneumonia. But this is not how I remember her. Instead, it is paradoxical healing of her potions dispensed from the apothecary shelved above the stove, or it is her solitary on an empty stage, no lights, no costume, no props, no soundtrack, just her, alone, provoking the audience to sob, just her, alone, making a dance. And today, she would likely say, I am just exploiting this to make a poem, though she feels in the unhumanly balance of her bones because she hears the equilibrium voice of our shared defiance of the society that wanted to rape us. She hears, I am celebrating our love, even knowing it is no longer good for us to be around each other. If there is a better way to sing this, I know I will find it. If there is a better way to sing this, I know I will find it. If there is...
Wait, Paul, pause for 1 second, Paul. Hold on. Some people got unmuted, and let me unmute Paul so you can pick it up from right there. You should be able to unmute yourself, Paul.
Sorry.
There we go. No. Oh, you got muted again. Try it one more time. You should be got it. You got to unmute yourself, Paul. I don't know what happened. There we go. Sorry about that. Pick it up from me where I stopped you. Sorry about that.
No trouble. I did a pause and it's hard to follow. It just ends. If there is a better way to sing this, I know I will find it. If there is a better way to sing this, I know you will love it into me. I know you will. I know you will. I know you will. You will love it into me.
Now unmute yourselves and give it up for Paul Skiff.
There you go, Paul. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That was beautiful. Thank you.
That was amazing.
So good.
Welcome to the Skiff universe. Paul, should unmute yourself one more time, provoking the audience to sob as a performer. That's so ring true for me. Paul, where can the people find you online?
Just put the website in the chat, and I'll put a link to there's an archival interview Edwin Torres did for PS1 Radio. I'll put a link to that too. It has some cuts from a recording, and it's great to hear everything Edwin has to say. He's a kind of a first or second generation cafe person. Thanks again, everybody, for being here. It's 6 months. Let's keep going. It's hard to make it past the horror outside the door, but with this kind of support, the possibility is more than possible. Thanks again, Advocate. You're doing a mean trick as a one-man production company. Big thumbs up. Thanks.
Thank you. That is Paul Skiff, and I'm trying here, man. I'm trying to do both, trying to host and produce, man. New York needs to double my pay. That's what we're going to have to do. So that was Paul Skiff. Make sure you check him out. He's going to put his info in the chat. Next, coming up, we are going to my home borough, the Bronx, to my homie, Ron Mark Thompson, the man who is connected with everything, workshops, poetry readings, anything having to do with the arts, he's there. Ron, how are you?
I'm doing okay. Thanks for the plug. I appreciate it.
Oh, I love the lettering in the back. Love. I love it. Right over your left shoulder. The side. I love it.
Yes, because I'm in my bedroom today instead of the living room where you have those smileys hanging. I keep everybody on toe, keep changing.
There you go. Welcome to the New York edition of Cribs. And we are now bringing you Ron Mark Thompson. All right, Ron, you ready to share your poetry?
Yes, I'll try. What had happened was that yesterday evening, I signed up to perform today. I wasn't drunk. I wasn't confused. It was just a habit like in most of the past weeks. I may not be superstitious, but no way I'll break the rhythm. So then I went to sleep, dreamed some beautiful dreams. But then what had happened is I woke up this morning and realized what I had done. Today was not a no-theme evening. Instead, I need to write a poem to the latest theme, equilibrium? I have no idea what that means. Looked up, aha, mental sanity, no net change, competing forces in equal balance. Interest. This is
we lost you, Ron. We lost you when you said interesting.
Okay. Looked up competing forces in equal balance. Interesting. Well, I've been off balance a lot. Maybe this is what I need to get my harmony back and maybe to get my audio back. Why did Advocate come up with this? Is he keeping us keen? I accept the challenge. I'll write and write and write. It's nourishment for my mind. It's not vanity. It doesn't feel like my first kiss, or does it? Maybe it's redemption. Writing will liberate me from inactivity. Maybe I will learn something. Maybe I can teach something. I know I'll forgive myself. But to come think of it, it's probably all
Wait, Ron, you got to start again from maybe I'll forgive myself.
Okay.
Ron, we can't hear you. I see your lips moving, but we don't hear you. Try again. Talk again.
Can you hear me?
Now I hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. All right. Maybe I will learn something. Maybe I can teach something. I know I'll forgive myself. But to come think of it, it's probably all a hidden plan from the government. Yeah, the CDC is secretly paying the National Endowment for the Arts and the New York State Council on the Arts and the New York City Department of Cultural Affairs and Amazon Literary Partnership sponsoring the cafe so that we don't think of the virus and instead keep writing and performing. We stay healthy and immune. I see through their agenda. Or maybe the Democrats want us to rally against all the injustices going on. So they make sure we keep using our pens, our keyboards, our voices to protest, to fight for a better country. I see through you, New Rican Poets Cafe. You claim you do Monday and Thursday night to entertain us, but in reality, you keep us sharp. You keep us in balance. I know you helped me through the crisis. I gained new friends who inspire me, who make me express myself. Hey, maybe in a few months, I'll start singing like Carlene and the Two Pauls and the Withdrawn, or rapping to the beat like Monica. I'll project my voice like Ray Chain so everyone can hear me and Zoom can cut me off. It'll be an ode to my fellow poets, not an ode to an elder. Oh, advocate, I cannot wait what you'll come up next. I wonder what will come first, the end of the pandemic or the day you will run out of new themes. No worries, we keep waltering, and I'll keep writing weird poetry. And if you, the listeners, my friends, are as weird as I am, then you may know how many themes I buried in this poem. Because now everything is in balance. My mind and body are at ease. Sanity is restored. I can't wait for another week, another month, another year. With the cafe and our many beautiful poets, equilibrium has saved another day. The end.
Unmute yourself, give it up for Ron.
Go there, Ron.
Yay.
Oh, God.
Oh.
Ron Mark Thompson. He put a bunch of the themes in there. He put in names. He put in our sponsors. That's how you get noticed. See, the New York better watch this and see that you're doing your job. Ron, where can the people follow you online?
Well, thank you. But you know what? It doesn't seem to matter. Like, no matter what I try, the audio keeps cutting off. But hey, I'm sorry.
And I love the fact that you improvised right there, man. I love the improv right there. You got to do it. That's what's up. Go ahead. Before I interrupted
Gotta try,
you.
you know. You can find me on 3 platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Personally, Ron Mark Thompson, my organization that Advocate was so nicely plugging for me, Bronx Art and Fun Hub at BXAFH. I appreciate. Thank you so much for keep giving me motivation each and every Monday and Thursday. You know, really appreciate everyone here.
Thank you, Ron. That was Ron Mark Thompson. Make sure that you go and check him out. Give him a follow. Like I said, he's involved in a lot of different workshops and stuff like that. And to the New York checking in, we good over here. Yay, I'm not alone. The New York came and checked in. We good over here. All right, next coming up, DG Clearing. This man always is dressed like he's about to go out and party. I want to party with DG Clearing. Brother, how are you
Love
today?
to party with you. Next time I'm in New York, we'll do that, okay? So, hi everybody, I'm DG Clearing. I'm from outside of Green Bay where the Packers are. Just a little plug there. So, I have 2 poems for you tonight. The president said in an interview a possible vaccine for COVID-19 could be ready right around November 3rd, the election. When asked if it would help the election, he said, I would. It would. This is balance. Balance. There must be a balance, somewhere between the panic and the calm. For now, we have to live with the virus. The uncertainty of our future, our hopes and dreams flogged with subjugation. What is the counterbalance? Stand tall to the sickness, be prepared to fight off the legions of breath, faced with choices of the electors. I am so sorry. We're gonna go from the top again, I'm sorry. Balance, there must be a balance, somewhere between the panic and the calm. For now, we have to live with the virus, the uncertainty of our future, and the hopes and dreams flogged with subjugation. What is the counterbalance? Stand tall to the sickness, be prepared to fight off the legions of breath. Faced with choices of electors, decisions must be made for the outcome. When is the attack? Don't back down. Being steady, pierce the canker. Let the discharge drain. As the contagion is exposed, Stay cool to fortify your resistance. Gather together for the inoculation. The day will come. It is then we will have equilibrium, a balance, a rest. I'm sorry for the mistake there earlier. The second poem. 2,100 wildfires plus, millions of acres are burning across the US. Hundreds of thousands of people have to be evacuated in the middle of the pandemic. Evacuees with few places to go are forced to take their chances with COVID in shelters. With little social distancing and poor air quality, they are faced with death. This is Sea of Flames. Sea of Flames. Firestorms have erupted across the country as the virus strikes like lightning. Containment of the spread is difficult. Areas burst with infection. The inferno has no boundaries. A sea of flames infects the air. You need protective gear to fight it back. Masks and shields, portable oxygen to help you breathe, hazmat suits to keep you insulated. They try to knock them down. Cures are dropped from the sky. Teams are exhausted from the fight. The contagion as ruthless as it teases you, pulling back, hiding in the backdrafts, then exploding, attacking all around you, rolling walls of death, scorching a path of devastation, leaving embers searing with blight. When will it stop? The rage must be contained. Thank you.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for DG Clearing.
Yeah.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Rage must be
Thank you.
DG Clearing. Let me unmute him one more time. And sir, let
Thank
the
you,
people
everybody.
know.
You can find me at DG Clearing on Facebook, or if you just look at DG Clearing, I'm a few places. Thank you, Advocate, for being here. And Neurokeum Cafe, it's so good you're here. Thank you.
Thank you. That is
Happy Labor Day.
DG Clearing. That is DG Clearing coming through with the jacket, man. He's smooth, man. He's smooth. If I can't have him as my wingman, he'll steal all the ladies. But he's looking smooth, man. He's looking smooth. Next up is Jody Ortega, but I don't see Jody here. She may be at work, possibly couldn't get on. I don't see her. Oh, Poetic. Make sure you check your emails. There is a gig for you in your emails, money, poetry. Make sure you check it. So I want to shout out some people who are checking in who I don't see on the open mic list, like Mariela Cabrera, I see here. Overdose, who I shouted out before. My boy Chilo. Monica Berger, Metronome, she's on the waiting list. I don't know if we're going to get to her. Tara Lee's on the waiting list. We also got Janessa Roberts, Jeff Cottrell, Umberto Marte is here. Midnight is here. Shout out to Midnight, a Mets fan. Sorry about Tom Seaver. We spoke about that before. Nick Paleologos, who's on the waiting list. I don't know if we can get to him, but he's here. Glissette is here. How you doing? I've never seen her before. Hi, Glissette. Nice to meet you. Wendy Jackson is here. Hey, Wendy. Scott Pleasance is here. Who else? I want to make sure I'm catching everyone who's checking out that I don't see on the list. Lynn Lane is here. You guys follow him on Instagram, man. He got great pictures. Herb Diggs is here. What's up, Herb? I've never seen him before. Glad to see you checking in. Who else? Who else we got that isn't signed up? Jane Spoken Word, who I spoke to on Facebook. She knows about the Lizard Lounge up in Massachusetts. Haven't been up there in a while. I got to check them out. Luciana's here. She's checking us out every day. She's actually a student learning English and checking in on us. So listen, poets, don't mess up, man. We trying to help her out here. Who else? I think, and there's someone named Denise A is here. Michael Sindler, he's on the waiting list. I don't know if we're going to get to him. Indigo Pie, I don't know if we're going to get to Indigo. She's on the waiting list. And I think I caught everyone who's on the waiting list. Norm Mathematics, how can I forget Norm, man? That's my brother right there. And my shit is always here giving people a lot of props. So I want to make sure that I shout out to people who are checking in, who are not on the open mic list, whether they're just like being audience members or they're on the waiting list. So getting back to the guaranteed slot, Julia Ortega is not here, so we're going to Diane Ward. Diane Ward, who you can only see exclusively here on the Monday night online open mic, or if she's hanging out with Ron Mark Thompson. Diane, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Thank you for having me again. I wrote to the theme, equilibrium. All right?
Awesome, good.
Equilibrium. We're always tilting. I'm not wasting energy. I'm more than only human, which is a relative gift. Being human is a challenging portal. However, being terrestrial and celestial are awesome. So just know and remember that I tilt with or without you. Scales vie for attention on both sides when we go with truth and justice, but I've met those evil who have benefited from the side of misuse and injustice, self-aggrandizement, ego and racism, their calling card, and so none in your zodiac signs are exempt. Just know that I tilt with or without you. Not as a setup, not as an agenda, not as a ploy. No tilting that way for me. Prayer and belief help. Chakras and power gems help. Baths and journaling helps. Just know that I tilt to offset your attempt to damage and destroy. So counterbalance is always necessary throughout your world. There exists an armor impervious to fakers no matter what you do. So with or without you, I tilt. I tilt to replace the resources withheld. I tilt to overcompensate for your misdeeds. I tilt to replenish those you tried to damage. And to the dead, they await you with arms open wide. For you, you'll experience them soon enough. I'm growing weaker in some respects while my inner core grows stronger. That is the balance, the cost of equilibrium. My sixth has become my 10th sense, weathered and getting bolder. Cautious silence is now platinum, surpassing golden, and I tilt with you. I equate and balance and find the common good core, countering the wicked, deceitful, and whether they know it, it is not beyond irrelevant. Use your weapons well and learn from every encounter. Tilt, tilt, straighten, tilt, recalibrate. Just know that I tilt with or without you. One of many joys is that truth becomes evident, whether confessed or not. Realized and brought forward doesn't rely upon fakers rooming with lies and suffering in their self-made subterfuge. That's the sweetness of death. Just know that. Well, yes, I tilt with you. And even balance occurs not within your control, no matter what you do. There's a reckoning. I'm tilting with or without you. The "it is what it is" excuse doesn't help any plausible defense. So your truth advocates, you're not alone. Don't be afraid. Continue to do the best that you can, because one of your motivators is love, the greatest, most precious gift of all. Just know that when you slip and need a refill, I tilt with you. We manage what strengthens us. You can limit divisions when you become real and honest, if you can find your way back after you've allowed your own selling, placed yourself on the block and begged for shackling, been bought and sold and rewarded for some of your conquest. And yet when you failed to sell the rest of us, when you placed us on the block yourselves, you are still a failure to your masters. You'll never really matter the way you hoped. But that's your life lesson. That's your tilt mechanism, oiled and geared and set into motion only when you're ready, no sooner. When death greets you, we tilt together and enjoy the great forever is joining all reborn. You have a little time left. Straighten, loose, equilibrium, recalibrate, tilt, knowing you can feel the aura of everyone's inner greatness. Radiate when ready. I'll feel your glow, and that's why I feel your love when we tilt, recalibrate, we center, we resolve, we change towards the positive and goodness, care and honesty, and any moment of respectful equilibrium on this side of life's equation. Alive, tilt with pride, not shame, not defeat. Bravely tilt toward the inevitable, clear, conscious, unbiased, beneficent survival with a transfusion of equality. Tilt, tilt again and regain in every faith, every course towards truth. Silence evil and create equilibrium. Thank you.
Yes, unmute yourself. Give it up for Diane.
Yeah.
Nice, Diane. Thank you.
So
Oh.
Great. My God, the power.
Right. Thank Diane Ward. She makes it seem easy. Where is Diane so I can unmute her one more time? Where did she go on my screen? Diane, how did I lose Diane Ward? Where is she? Wait, did she leave? Oh, there she is. There she is. All right, there she is. Let me unmute her. Miro is on point. You should be able to unmute yourself. Miro is on point because I keep copying what she's saying. She had quoted, "I tilt to compensate for your misdeeds." I love that line, Diane. And then Paul Conqueso had mentioned, he questioned, is she the earth? Because it could have sounded like as if it was like you, the earth, speaking. Oh, I just loved it, Diane. Great, great.
Thank you.
And the people.
You find me here. You find me here.
That's right. Next Monday at 8 p.m. Also, make sure you check the chat, Diane, because the people love the bow in your hair.
Thank you.
It looks great. Diane, thank you so much for adding to the night. I always enjoy your voice and your work. I appreciate you so much.
Thank you.
That was Diane Ward. That's right. You can't find her online because she's running from the feds, but you can find her here Monday night online, open mic with us. Okay, next coming. Also, I want to make a correction. I had said that Jeff Cottrell's on the waiting list. He's not. He's actually on the guaranteed list. I just saw it. So sorry if I confused you there, Jeff. I hope that I did it. Next coming up is Isam Zine. Where is he? Where I saw him here. Oh, wait. I just passed him. There we go. You should be able to unmute yourself. All right. Yeah. Before we get into it, I have to ask, is your daughter who does the impression of me, is she here?
They're here. They just went to bed though. Tomorrow's their first day of school.
Okay, all right. But you've got to record your daughter, make sure she gets on here for one of the Monday nights so that we can hear her. I'd love to hear her impression of me. But how was your Labor Day, brother?
No, it was good. It was good.
That's what's up. Got to spend it with the family?
Yep, up here with my parents, and this is just everything about tonight is beautiful. This is great poetry, and Diane just, made me feel really great going into this.
Awesome. Diane's something else. I love that.
That was amazing. That was beautiful.
All right, I'm going to mute myself. Get into it.
Okay. A couple of weeks ago, I read a sonnet from this Crown of Sonnets that was a Cento, the Wanda Coleman poems. So I'm going to read the last two lines of that one that I read and then just finish the rest out since I didn't read the others. I thirst for the cold, white quench. Without you, this city is a pale, rude fiction. Without you, this city is a pale, rude fiction. Your sun paints the skyscrapers downtown in late day. The children expect this letter to go unmailed, as have all the others. I am dying in La in a blizzard of sun where, God, in my smoke, I call you to take the outer skin in, rehumanize it. My father hoists me over his shoulder, holds me after. I take cuttings of his hair and kiss the air. My tongue has grown strong and hard like twin hearts beating in amber. All that talk about blackberries was talk. Will you pay to hear my angst of sob and bathe in it? Do see, refuse the dark. There are those still throwing themselves in the sea, so to speak. There are those still throwing themselves into the sea, so to speak. Somewhere they are unearthing the evidence, the dark heart. Earth casts up its dead sky, river, mother, your tongue plunders my mouth, my love's isolation, my nation and me are bickerings. Is that what she holds against me? Your eternal, rampant, romantic notions of nobly dying in the cause where crowns of trees inspired by flame extol the night. I will speak to the night. It will listen. Forgive this ruined narrative, begging the first chaos out of calm. Let my grief be pure. The phone rings again. Something clicks. It's dangerous. They have a warrant out for my arrest. He's out here somewhere dead ahead, enemy and lover. I am armed. I will not come to the door. I will not come to the door. I hear voices sing and shout, hear bodies, bed calls. I sit in the dark in the living room. I decide I may as well walk to keep warm and am suddenly buying money orders at the post office. I believed great and prolonged sex cured cancer. I believed violence. It is imperative that visionaries see groves of perfect oranges and streets of stars. I catch a starfish, second summer after my divorce. The lotus moon is a lover's wound, and the crows go by. She's on top. My sky is painted to look like a ceiling. It happened so gradual, I didn't notice. We lived off love. It was all we had to eat. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Sam.
So touching.
Tom, that was
Thank you.
beautiful. Thank you so
Incredible.
much.
Thank you.
Excellent work.
Sam Zane, let me unmute him. And Ray Jane caught my favorite line, in a blizzard of sun. And also the withdrawal mentioned, he asked if those were crickets in the back because it was adding to the production value. That was
I'm outside, that's true.
It worked though, brother. With the
All right.
stuff that you wrote, your flow, your voice, everything. Where can the people follow you online?
I'm on Twitter at IZINEH.
And please make sure that you put it in the chat as well so people could see.
Okay, thanks.
Thank you, Sam. Appreciate you. Next time, let your daughter stay up a little late. I really want
All
to see
right.
this
I
impression.
just
of
missed
me.
them.
Oh, okay, all right. Next time. Tonight would have been the perfect night too, man, because the new yo isn't watching. So my job wouldn't be in jeopardy. But if we have him on next week, my job may be in jeopardy. So
Oh, there you are.
I hope you have no problem adopting me if I lose my job. So it's Sam Zane. Thank you, brother.
Thanks.
That was a Sam. Next coming up is, we got time, is Miro. Miro's been on fire in the chats tonight. Been catching everything. Hi, Miro. How are you?
I'm good. I'm having a good time with you guys tonight. Everybody's on fire.
I see it. And you're picking out all my favorite lines too. So we in the zone. You ready to share some poems with us?
Yes, I am.
Go ahead.
So I'm going to read what I wrote for last week. So the theme last week was animal, and I feel like in a way it kind of touches on equilibrium. So I'm going to do that. And then I have another very short poem that kind of echoes Sam Park's magnificent work this evening, because I was having a little trouble with some fuckboys, and I feel better after writing it. So 2 poems. The first one is called An Animal Is. An animal is a multicellular eukaryotic organism using the random evolutionary blessing of mobility, muscles provided to hunt, run and hide, mate, migrate, survive. Available in every shape and size, their functions and features tested and tried, whittled down, highly specialized over countless millennia, achieving equilibrium, ensuring no one takes more than is necessary, a universally understood intelligence between adversaries. An animal is a multicellular eukaryotic organism wearing expensive suits, drilling fossil fuels, abusing the fruits of nature's labor, expanding its territory with force, it's necessary. Because the urge to make more of a thing called money, which this animal invented proudly. A power trip taking him out of the eco, placing him securely in the ego, is more important than the stability of a delicate ecosystem, a carefully crafted biodiversity he and others of his kind depend on completely. An animal was a multicellular eukaryotic organism with iridescent plumage or rows of symmetrical scales, sharp talons, fangs, sumptuous fur coats, sonar, secret languages, individual habits, and strategic hunting plans. Roaming, nesting, singing, pouncing, moving with elegance, curiosity, determination. They were friends, neighbors we should have learned from, co-conspirators in the race to survive. But man's drive to be the best overwhelmed shared resources, depriving our creature siblings, who live on between the pages of textbooks the next generation reads, to know the terrible deeds of the animals before them and the hungry, devastating power of greed. Poem 2, untitled, but I think you'll get the idea. Very different. Do you or don't you? Are we friends, something more, or are you bored? It's infuriating finding myself here again, playing that stupid game again, making it obvious so you know, but not so much so you don't show. Are you flirting or being friendly, interested or taking pity? It's annoying. I'm over here rolling my eyes at the screen, waiting for you to get a hold of your dick, groaning at your tricks, mixed signals, buck up, be a man, be civil, just say so, because right now, boy, you're making me happy to be single. Done.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Miro.
And Miro.
Thank you.
Get it, queen.
Miro went in today, man. She went in tonight. Okay, you should be able to unmute yourself, Miro. Miro, you went in tonight. Where can it be?
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Well, I had to make up for not being here last week, am I right? So you can find me on IG at Miro Reads Books. Looks like Mirror Reads Books. Might have to change that eventually, but I'll put that in the chat. So thank you again so much for having me and for doing this. This is amazing. This is community. This is therapy. This is everything. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Miro. I appreciate you. That's Miro. Make sure you go check her out. Don't slide into her DMs, though. She appreciates being single right now. You're gonna get your throat cut. So that's Miro. But send her poems. She has been reacting to all the poems and sharing fire herself. Next, coming up is a little known poet here on the Monday Night Online open mic, and her name is Ray Jane. Let me unmute Ray Jane. Should be able to unmute yourself, Ray.
Yeah, what's up?
What's up? Everybody always talks about you, Ray. Everyone's talking about Ray Jane right now. Your ears must be buzzing with all the talk people are doing about you. How are you tonight?
I'm good. I'm very happy to be here with y'all, as always.
Wait, what does that shirt say? Bilf? What's a bilf?
Bilf. Beard I'd like to fondle.
Woo! It's beard season. I'm starting to grow my beard too. I'm loving it.
We've been waiting, friends. Just let it grow.
Yup. It's coming out now, especially with Ray Jane wearing that shirt. I know it. I needed a sign from the universe, and it came through Ray Jane. Ray, it's such a pleasure to have you on. I love having you on. You ready to add to the energy?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Let's go. Let's do it.
Go ahead.
All right. Peace to all y'all. Definitely with the theme today, and the poem is entitled as such. So it's called Equilibrium. All right. And the lyrics from the beginning are from In the Air Tonight by Phil Collins. Bear with me. I can feel it coming in the air tonight. Oh Lord. And I've been waiting for this moment for all my life. Oh Lord. Can you feel it coming in the air tonight? Oh Lord. Oh Lord. I have been unbalanced for most of my life. In fact, I can't quite remember a time when I felt steady, when I felt ready, instead of scared, filled to brim with fear. Seems remarkably clear that the one thing I was sure of was that nothing was really sure. And yet my knees still found the floor, and prayer still swam out of my lips, carrying me on its shoulders, lifting and hurdling all of life's boulders with me, not for me. No matter how frequently I begged to be older, in my mind's eye remained shielded in branching bonsai, rooted deeply but not sure of where my reach dies, fearing the ends of my fingertips, daring not to grab at dreams for fear that I might overreach and miss and slip and burst metaphysical bottom lip, gripping shoulder chip with every subconscious lick. But thankfully, I am not the only hand on my wheel. Tops of my pyramids opening to the rhythm life lives, how even strife gives lessons on how to sway. Just like heartbreak, return the drums to my prescription. I've learned to listen, to balance difference between dreaming and reminiscing, reminding me with various versions of sharp and gentle nudges into fate that seem accidental in the tuition. Wisdom is just and incidental. I'm paying attention, linking my physical and my mental, learning how life is so complex, it's somehow simple. I feel like sunrise is levitating on my eyelids, and I can see way past the pride lands. I'm peeping the hyenas, but not complete yet, so still falling for their calling cards, lying and intimacy fraud. Oh Lord, I've been waiting for this clarity all my life. I climbed into myself and had to stretch myself twice to fit who I know I'm supposed to be. It still feels wild. I'm still getting used to it, this metamorphosis. New and old self still living inside one, each stepping on when God beckons me onto my scales, not false like Lady Liberty or hoax. Like Lady Justice, this balance is not conditional, it's optional. I chose to blossom, grow, still willing it's so, but she's still a little clumsy though, but she keeps stepping till her yellow bricked road becomes real, until my vibration is all that I can feel. Thank you.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Ray.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Hey. That was sweet.
Hey.
Great,
Boys.
Hey.
God.
Thank you.
And that is why she's called the Thunder Lung. Ray Jane, should be able to unmute yourself. Always bringing it, Ray. Always bringing it. Always getting the people excited. Now, Ray, where can the people find you online?
I appreciate y'all. Thank you for being with me and allowing me and making space for me. And it's hard living in the world, right? We say that every week. So it's just such a refreshing thing. I'm sorry to be taking time. I know I want to get to the people on the waiting list too, but it's such a refreshing thing to have somewhere to come twice a week, to be myself, to say what I want to say and be who I am. And I thank you for allowing me. If you'd like to see or hear any more from me, you can follow me or just come check me out at itsrayjane.com. On Instagram, it's the top line here, 3_4 THS clairvoyant. Appreciate y'all. Be blessed. I'm excited. Let's go.
Thank you, Ray Jane. Appreciate it. And what you got? You said you got like 45 poems on your SoundCloud right now. See, you muted yourself. I didn't tell you to mute yourself yet. Well, I mute the people, not you. Okay.
Right. All right, man. I'm trying to let everybody else go, man. Yeah, there's like 45 or so tracks there. Come check me out. If you bored, taking your bathroom trip in the morning, I could be with you. You know what I'm saying?
That's what's up. Thank you, Ray. Appreciate you. Ray Jane, make sure you go check out our website. It's rayjane.com. You can get to her Instagram there and her SoundCloud. So I'm seeing a bunch of people in the chat saying they like her voice. You could go hear it later tonight, 45 tracks. Also, Trisha De Jesus posted my favorite line from the poem, and she had quoted Ray Jane saying, "I am not the only hand on my wheel." I like that line. Good pickup, Trisha, and good writing, Ray. Okay, next coming up is Rich Daddy to be Glennon. Where is he? Where is Rich? Oh, there he is. Should be able to unmute yourself, Rich. How are you today, sir?
Well, how are you?
I'm good. Did you eat well?
Yeah, I've been eating well this whole week because I was actually had to use up my vacation days, so I've been eating like an animal.
Oh, okay, okay. Well, that was last week's theme. This week's theme is equilibrium. You got something for that?
No, I don't have anything from equilibrium. Off topic today.
All right, no problem, no problem. It's all right. You a daddy to be, man. You got a lot on your plate. You ready to get into it?
Literally and figuratively, yes.
Go ahead.
Okay, so the first poem I'll read is, I ran into the neighbor that gave us tomatoes yesterday. All right. How were they? He asked, plucking envelopes from his mailbox. Good. They were good. Thanks again, I said. There's nothing like fresh, homegrown tomatoes, he said. I kicked myself for not thinking of saying that, because it would have been a much better line than, good. They were good. But since he brought up the freshness, I rolled with it. Yeah, very fresh, and no preservatives like at the store. Then I bid him a good afternoon and disappeared, like the truth, into my building. Fled quicker than his vegetation rotted on our windowsill, absolutely forgotten, until it started to stink, a testament to its organic nature. My rapid steps, like the succession of splats his tomatoes made when we poured them into the garbage. This next one is called Red versus Blue. I don't know dick about politics, but maybe that's what my 40s are for. The second the school bell chimes and announces the end of my 39th year, a rolled up newspaper will appear at my door, a diploma snug in a plastic sleeve. I will instinctively hate or pity approximately half of the population for thinking differently than me. But eventually these folks will be gone, for my tree fort will only allow like-minded individuals. A sign featuring a backwards S and painted with the correct favorite color will make it explicitly clear who rules and who drools. The next one is, I'll do this one. This is called Final Click. Very short, Final Click. These blasted touchscreen devices are murdering all of the mouses, but they're now at peace on floppy wings, these antiquated obsolete things, bobbing and clicking, higher they fly to that Radio Shack in the sky. And my last one here is called Finding Mr. Softy. All right, Finding Mr. Softy. After equal parts, wrong turns, and U-turns, we found Mr. Softy a few blocks away. My wife and I are adults, and this is the proper way adults get Mr. Softy, especially if it's her birthday and she's 8 months pregnant. Children need only play wiffle ball or two-hand touch to lure the box truck to them, approaching slowly, like a big shy friend. But adults must hunt in a vehicle of their own, that which cranks a melody everywhere and nowhere at once. A siren song swirling our route all over town. After we get our cones, we go back into the car, pretend it's a stoop. But instead of being the only one sitting near the bottom, while the rest of the guys are up near the door, I'm level with my wife, side by side, debating whether the best bite is the first, the flat hand which chops off the soft serve's arched peak and leads the swirl of mountain trails to a plain of oblivion, or if the last bite is the best, a grand finale of fireworks, a flaky thimble of sweet consolation, bidding you farewell, as the fading chimes round the corner without ever leaving, like chocolate staining the napkins of city blocks. All right.
Mute yourselves and give it up for Rich Glennon.
Rich. Baby number 2.
So true.
Rich Daddy to be Glennon. I love the deadpan in your poetry. I love how you share it with the deadpan. You need to look up a gentleman by the name of Thomas Fucularo. He does a deadpan, but it's like really loud. It's weird, but I think you would like him. Anyway, Rich, where can the people follow you online?
Rich Glenn on Tumblr and Instagram. And would you mind spelling that guy's last name? I'll check him out.
Oh, I'm gonna put it in the chat right now. Thomas, oh, come on, chat. Why doesn't chat work there? Oh, Thomas F-U-C Fucularo. I think I spelled it right. It's either that or one of the two. I put two last names. I forgot how to spell it. But you gotta check out Thomas Fucularo. One more time, Rich. Where can the people find you online?
Rich Glennon on Tumblr and Instagram. And thank you for hosting and producing. And
Thank you.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Rich Daddy to be Glennon. The day is coming next month. I remembered it, and the Withdrawn remembered it. He posted in the chat. Next month, soon he's gonna be Rich Daddy Glennon. Oh, we're excited, we're waiting. Okay, next up is, and I saw her with these really cool pink sunglasses, is Kai Brackens. Where did Kai go? I swear, Kai. Where is Kai? There she is with the rabbit fingers behind her head, courtesy of Max. See? What's up, Kai? How are you?
Well, it could be better, it could be worse, I guess.
I'm sorry to hear that. Well, I'm digging the glasses. I noticed that right away.
Thank you. These are actually my prescription glasses, so I wear these all the time now.
Yo, they look good on you. You rocking the hell out of them. All right, you ready to get into it, Kai?
Yeah. So I have two pieces for you today. One for last week, Animal, and then this week, Equilibrium. And it's a series, a two-part series. So the beastly side of the depressed poet. In the beginning, it started with a simple thought. I have to write another poem for this damn thing. Fuck. Not to say I don't like the prompts, but in all honesty, I kind of feel like shit today. And so began the ascent of the poet as she evolved, trying to make these poems make more sense and not sound completely like the incessant droning of bees on noisy wings, because right now, that is all she can hear in her damn head, and it's fucking exhausting. You see, it's hard to put these words on the paper. That is to say, my mind and tongue has been taken hostage by a fucking jamboree of wild and raving, a mad mess of monkeys that will not let me eat or sleep, let alone write a decent piece of shit poem. That is just the poetic way to say that my Atlas complex is turning me into more Tasmanian devil than Kylene today. And my depression is constricting around me like a boa that loves to steal my energy as much as it likes to steal my ability to take in the air. That these wild heffalump and woozle-filled nightmares are giving both me and Piglet an awful fright as these pink elephants continue to march one by one, hurrah, over my fucking skull, as the bear tries to impart some philosophical necessities to help me feel more quick-witted about this life and how I'm only 18, so I can't be that damn exhausted with it yet. That is to say, he's spewing bullshit. And is this poem possibly a cry for help amongst voices I often find myself getting lost in, leaving me with a bittersweet pang of longing to feel more whole and a wish to stop using a voice that seemed to sound more like a kitten's meow as it stretches and curls up to make itself at home in my chest instead of the tiger's roar I keep trying to cough up, which looks more like me trying to release a hairball? Is this rambling herd of wild things leaving my mouth a cry for me to say that I would like to be loving and supporting today and every day and give everybody the energy I usually have, but I barely have enough energy to muster out a piece that I dragged out of its forgotten, unkept cage and now try to force it to jump through hoops? How I can feel its teeth hungry to sink into my throat and stop me from turning us both into circus acts. However, I would like to talk about how I should be okay, but mental illness doesn't give a fuck about that word okay, so I'm not. And honestly, I want to feel a lot less like poached rhino or suffocating sea turtle, but just like this world has torn them and their ecosystems apart, it constantly does the same to me. And that is to say again that my mind is still being dragged around by that jamboree of stupid fucking monkeys, so I have to shit out this poem as a claim to my animalistic need to write with no real poet in the piece, because instead of the poet becoming the circus act, I have become the cage thing that I stared at through tightly clasped bars that reminds me that I can never escape this body or this brain. All that is to ask the simple question of, fuck, I have to write another poem? And then finally,
Give it up for Kai.
I have one more.
Got another one, yo.
Yeah.
Got another one.
Hold on.
I have one quick one.
Hold on, let me mute everyone and then unmute Kai. All right, it's quick because you got about 35 seconds.
35 seconds. We'll just do the first small part.
All right.
We won't get all of it. Breathe in for 4, hold for 3, and out for 7. And then scream. Watch the soundless way it escapes, how you hope the lack of noise will convey the emptiness the words haven't been able to equal, the pain of this lack of equilibrium, how my brain is on fire and I can't do shit about it, so I spend the day pretending like I can breathe out my heart. And I don't want to die. I just want depression to take a permanent vacation, my PTSD to go fuck itself, and my Atlas complex to disappear. And I want my binge eating disorder to stop whispering that eating my pain will help me digest the fact that I can't stop hating myself more than a month at a time. So instead of talking about how all the pain in my body can dissipate with the lack of oxygen in my blood, I instead will just breathe in for 4, hold for 3, and out for 7.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Kai Bracken.
We need the whole piece, Ma. Record that.
Kai Bracken's got to get on your recording, Kai. The people want to hear your stuff, and that's Ray Jane asking. If Queen Ray asks for you got to make it happen. You need to get a SoundCloud. You need to hit up Ray Jane to show you how to do it. Kai, where can the people find you online?
You can find me at Kai_loudfatmixedpoet. He's trying to type it as I'm saying it, and that's not helping. So Kai_loudfatmixedpoet, Kylene2001, also on Instagram, or Kylene Bracken on Facebook. Thanks, y'all.
Thank you, Kai. Appreciate it. And that is Max C trying to help Kai out and put Kai's info into the chat. Make sure you give Kai a follow. And I really hope that Kai Bracken records her poems so people could go back and see it. Ray Jane, jump all over Kai. Make it happen. She's going to listen to you. Okay? Make it happen. I was Kai Brackens. Next coming up is the man who I said was on the waiting list, but he's not, and that's Jeff Cottrell. And after him, it is Paul Gonke. So, Jeff, you should be able to unmute yourself.
There we go. I don't have to wait.
There we go. Yes, no waiting list. Sorry about the confusion. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. Ready to get into it, sir?
Yeah, I got new shit.
New shit? Go ahead, brother.
That's right. You're under orders to say that. Look up in the sky. No, not the sky. In the coffee shop, sitting at the corner table, alone, scrolling down his cell phone, with 2 days' growth of beard and a milk stain on his pants. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a dog? Is it a waffle iron? Is it a shoe? No, it's Adequate Man. Adequate Man. Faster than a speeding hamster. More powerful than a toddler. Able to leap over a tall chicken in a single bound. Adequate Man. When trouble rears its head, does he ignore it? No, he stays home and reads about it on the internet. When faced with injustice, does he lie down? No, he sits and tells others on social media to do something. When people are needy, does he neglect them? No, he donates $5 to the cause if it's tax deductible. When trash needs to be taken out, when dishes need to be dried, when the dog needs to be walked, he does it. Whatever the crisis, whatever the threat, citizens know they can call on him for the bare minimum. Tremble before the powers of Adequate Man, his 20/20 vision, his average physical strength, his ability to melt steel with the help of welding equipment, his bachelor's degree in environmental studies, his office data entry job, the force of which has allowed him to pay off part of his student loan, his capability of viewing an entire Netflix series in one binge, his gift for devouring 6 pizza slices in one meal. Watch Adequate Man, and you will believe a man can fly, provided that he makes the airport gate on time. Adequate Man and his loyal sidekick, drinking buddy. What a duo! Together they rid the world of craft beer and chicken wings while they bravely watch hockey and basketball on the pub TV. When Adequate Man battles against a tough trivia question, who steps in with the right answer every time? Drinking buddy. And when Adequate Man faces another lonely Saturday evening, whom does he call on for help? Drinking buddy, of course. With Drinking Buddy's 6-packs and Xbox games, both of them team up to save the night once more. Feel the wrath of the mortal enemies of Adequate Man. The landlord who keeps reminding him the rent is late. The neighborhood tabby cat who triggers his allergies. The cute, perky ex who just wants to be friends now. The sexy cashier at his local convenience store who's nice to him but secretly thinks he's creepy. The messy, filthy apartment that still refuses to clean itself. And his ultimate nemesis, the Joker. Specifically, his old high school acquaintance, Bob, who now works in upper management at the same company. Still working in data entry, eh, Adequate Man? Don't let the high stress get to you. Oh, the laughter, the crazed, mocking laughter. One day, Bob, you will get yours. And so, citizens, the next time you need a hero who can help you rake your leaves, or give you a lift to the airport, or take money at the door at your next poetry event, you know who to look for. Look over there, smoking behind the 7-Eleven. Is it a bird? Is it a plane? Is it a no smoking sign on a plane? Is it a fidget spinner? Is it a chocolate teapot? Is it a ladle? Is it a bidet? Is it a jack-in-the-box? Is it a designer purse? Is it a tea cozy? Is it a tooth grill? Is it a toast rack? Is it an egg slicer? Is it a mattress tag that reads "Do not remove"? No, it's Adequate Man, master of mediocrity, the quintessential hero of our times. That was
Unmute yourself and give it up for Jeff.
Very nice, Jeff.
That's dope.
Laughs, man.
That was good.
Love it. Love it.
Jeff Cottrell, unmute. You should be able. Wait. You should be able to unmute yourself. I feel so triggered by his poem, man. feel like it was talking about me. I got to change my name to Adequate of Words. That was awesome. That was awesome. And I'm allergic to cats. So when you threw in the, like, he's sneezing with the tabby cat, neighborhood tabby cat, I was like, oh, it's so about me. Jeff, where can the people find you online?
People can find me at jeffcottrell.com and on Facebook and Twitter, and I have some short fiction on Wattpad and other sites, and I'm somewhere on YouTube. Just search me.
Awesome. Jeff, thank you again for bringing the humor and the lightness to tonight. I appreciate it, brother. That was Jeff Cottrell. Even without the Zoom feature, we still like Jeff, man. I do wish his Zoom feature would come back with his camera Zoom, but I still like him. I still like Adequate Man, our next superhero. Doesn't have like a bad theme song, but you'll forget it. It's nothing special. It's adequate. All right, next coming up is Headliner con Queso, better known as Paul con Queso. He's the last guaranteed slot for the night. Paul, how are you this evening?
I'm chilling, man. No pressure or anything, you know, no time constraints or anything of that nature.
Yeah, it just depends on how quick you get through your poem, whether we get to the waiting list or not. So
that is true.
No pressure, Headliner.
I'm just gonna get to it then. I'm just gonna get to it. I just want to say thanks to Advocate for always providing these prompts every week. They're challenges, and I feel like every week I keep waiting until later and later to finish them. So this one I finished at 7 p.m. today. So we'll see if it's any good. It's called Equanimity. Hopeless, romantic, two words which defined my adolescent life, yet the pair were rarely ever combined. Although loneliness has always been a friend of mine, I'm leaving my life in your hands. People say I'm crazy and that I am blind, risking it all in a glance. And how you got me blind is still a mystery. I can't get you out of my head. I don't care what is written in your history, as long as you're here with me. This toxicity, realizing I spent my entire youth pining like green little trees, hung from rear view mirror, seeing it clear, only in hindsight pining after someone who would never want me, flaunt me, have me, need me, truly, madly, deeply, dousing myself in lighter fluid cologne outside your windowsill. If I'm all alone and you're all alone, ain't nothing wrong with having someone to hold. Pining like cones or needles needling hands as they shed in defense from the evergreen, freshly cut down in its prime savagely, solely for Noel's sake, Merry Xmas and happy hole-filled days, only to be left to die in some living room, an open wound seeping from its stump like any hopeless romantic sense of It's a Wonderful Life, realize miracles, bell rings when an angel gets its wings type epiphany that despite my best attempts, they and I truly never equaled equilibrium. My pine sap always leaking, coating hardwood floors of apartment like pine saltiers. Seesaw of tree trunk hanging ornaments on limbs for potential booze that maybe someday save me shit wasn't until I learned to balance my own algebraic equation that I saw. Every little thing I do never seems enough for you. You don't want to lose it again. But I'm not like them, baby, when you finally get to love somebody, guess what? It's gonna be me. You see, I realized it was not me, but my perception of love that was fatal attractionally flawed. Boiled rabbits and all you can't make anyone love you, fool. Was that not Jeannie's very first rule? Tired of being the emotional firefly, fluffer for others to good luck chuck, profit off of, and fuck, and self-gratify, gravitas, achievement unlock. When they leave a bar flocked, with a gaggle of stock, and I'd leave with my hand again. 5-car stud stuck in solitaire, only a jack to give, because what I lacked in silver tongue slick, I tried my best to make up in genuflect. And I swear, by the moon and the stars in the sky, I'll be there. Knowing even romantic love will often not result in equilibrium, diversified my portfolio, investing in family and friends. But when friends left, taking rations with, my cabinets threadbare, and family done up and ended up dead. Cue the metronome of me, beating morning's dreary drum, delirium declaring me done, with even platonic love swirling into myself. But you learn, even I and I don't equal equilibrium. So sick of the man in the mirror, that mic reflex, to gag and retch, to hate this nose and voice and face and pattern of rhyme that fits in place. I mean, how in the blazes was this once narcissistic, young and gifted cock of the walk so confident, glances flaunted back and forth across the pond, yet all along he too was hand feeding me false pretense. When the bird shit hit, even the voices inside my head migrated west along the river wrist. I took the chips I earned and turned them into one-way trips from desperate depression, need for acceptance, adolescent fucks and loves to fill my own lacking perception. And I honestly wish I flipped from pining pop to top 40 whining hits to R&B far sooner than I did, crooning my way out through self-love bops and breakup ballads, because a breakup is healthy when necessary, even when that split occurs internally, working up nerve to usher these thoughts out of me. It's gonna burn for me to say this, it's coming from the heart. Been a long time coming, we done been fell apart. Really wanna work this out, but I don't think it's done to change. I do, but you don't. Think it's best we go our separate ways. And tell me why I should stay in this relationship when I'm hurting, baby. I ain't happy, baby. Plus there's so many other things I gotta deal with. I think that you should let it burn. And so I tossed the match of this pine in me onto the heap of rotting tree, and I watched it all burn so I could finally find the equilibrium within me, my chi, my breath, my very own bonfire of equanimity.
Wait. Unmute yourself and give it up for Paul.
James.
Paul with the hit.
There's no more mic left. It's toasted. Stop it, Paul. Stop it.
New release.
Man. At 7 o'clock tonight, huh? That's pretty good.
Paul con queso. Paul, I think Sam Park wants you to hit her up so she can add you to her Spotify.
Let's go.
Also,
I'll record covers and originals. Let's go.
There you go. Paul gave us her own verses here tonight. Paul, where can the people find you online?
You can find me on IG and Venmo at Paul con queso, and there you can follow all my literary endeavors, like our magazine, I Can't Breathe. Love y'all. Thanks for the platform, Advocate. I hope we get to somebody, please.
Awesome. Thank you. That was Paul con queso. Make sure you put your information in the chat as well, Paul. So we got to everyone on the guaranteed list. So we're at 10:30. Let me quickly speak with the producer and see if we can go later tonight. Advocate of Wordz producer, is it right if we go another 15 minutes to get some people in the waiting list? Well, Advocate of Wordz host, I think we're having a good night. So yeah, it's okay to do another 15 minutes. Great, Advocate of Wordz producer. You're my favorite producer. Okay, so we're going to get to the waiting list. And first on the waiting list is Max C. Let me unmute Max because I see him. Max, what's going on tonight? How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. I'd like to thank the host, the producer, and the headliner for allowing me to perform tonight. I did write something for Equilibrium, but then during the open mic night, I realized I didn't like it. So I'm reading something else. Also, to clarify, Kai, I was not doing bunny ears. I was doing this to present you. But thanks for bunny earing me. This is called Disgusting, Awful Symbolism That Will Only Resonate With Me, aka about the feeling of sickness. Does life ever throw something at you that you know is a test, and all you can do is look at it and say, fuck, I'm gonna fail? Standing on a precipice, edge of a cliff entitled Expectations, the pebbles of every little thing making your footing shaky, it is so hard to achieve when I'm carrying not only me, but my anxiety, dead man carrying dead weight in the form of unnecessary fear, a bar set by myself that no one could ever reach. Hell, you could play limbo with it and still win, even when you do that weird swiping jump that every high school straight boy does with every doorway. A feeling of sickness reminiscent of the time I dry heaved in a J.C. Penney's, hunched over the trash can for the third time that day, my anxiety not even bothering to hold back my hair, just letting me be queasy, like when your eyes are too big for your stomach and you decide to eat 20 McNuggets knowing you'll pay for it later. But this time they're rocks dragging me further and further into the mud of the creek my brain runs away to in its maladaptive daydreams, sticky red clay and caramel shit-colored mud blood clinging to my legs until I am put into the kiln and burned for my sins that aren't even real. Only what my brain is panicked that I've done wrong, and I ask again and again, are you okay? Are you mad at me? Please, please tell me, because I cannot comprehend the fact that my self-hatred doesn't radiate off of me in such a way that everyone around me assumes that it's their own, that they cannot feel this feeling of gutting myself as I choke on air that's no different than usual, trying to vomit it up. I swear it's no different than usual, but it clings to my throat like I'm choking on peanut butter. One day, anxiety will smother me under my pillow, but only in the way that mental illness can, only a metaphorical death. That's all, folks.
Hold on. Let me unmute everyone. I'm giving it up for Maxie. Woo, 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 woo. And everyone give it up for Max now.
Yes,
Max.
That last line, honey.
Maxie.
We love you, Max.
Let me mute everyone and quickly get to Max so he can say where we can find him. Then we can get to the next person. Where did Max go? Did Max? Oh, there. I see it. All right, you should be able to unmute yourself now, Max. Yeah, where can we find you online, Max?
Y'all can find me at Maxie Boy Poetry, at Maxie Boy everywhere else, including on Insta. And might as well throw this out there, at Max the Tiny on Wattpad, because that's where all my poetry is. I don't know why I didn't tell you guys about this earlier. Yeehaw.
Put that info in the chat. Type it out, Max. Thank you. Maxie, next up, we're going to Oakland, the Metronome. I haven't seen her, though. There she is. Yep. Should be able to unmute yourself. There we go. All right.
Hey,
Real
thank
quick,
you.
Let's see the kicks real quick. Let's see the shoe game.
Yes, I'm migraine today, so we're getting
stylish and militant. I like it. It goes with the shirt. All right. So we're pressed for time. Get right into it. Go ahead.
Thank you. Always striving for that balance, but then I would miss those really good highs. What goes up must inevitably crash down. My equilibrium always throws off my crown, feeling all my joy and depression up and down like a seesaw, making that mission for balance stuck in my craw. Back and forth through the course of life, dealing with everyday strife. Balance would be boring. I need to escape the quest for perfection. There's no such thing, trying to do it all and look flawless. I'm flawsome. That's awesome with my flaws and all. Like everyone else, I do the best I can. Take one bite at a time, 1 foot forward, sometimes a few more back. Sideways action like a crab, getting to my destination the way I can. Doing the next best thing for my future and my fam. My balance doesn't look like it does for everyone else, as long as I'm connected to the Most High and to my stomach. Pay attention to what I'm feeling, react or respond, whatever is warranted at that time. Be kind, be me, listening to Dub, watching my stories on TV, write and teach with a beat, laugh and cry, talk shit when necessary, then I'll be all right. That is my kind of balance. Every time I drive with the reggae in my ears and the opposite traffic, I stay away from the wolf pack. I'm not part of the cattle. I will not move for you. I am willing to stand alone if my principles are down on the table for question. My style is not part of the fad. It is a unique urban expression of my personality. I don't take well to attitude. Please watch your tone when you speak to me. I will roundhouse kick your chin back up if you dare look down on me. I will not be restrained from the everyday hustle and bustle. I have to be free from what others think of me and emancipate my mind on a daily. I won't be captured from my own mental slavery. This balance juggling act is a hoax. I just want to be aligned with my own truth and not be coaxed into the gaslight fire. I resist the desire to listen to all the pathological liars that walk along us posing to be normal and moral. I will refuse to make my enemies into frenemies. I adopt their ill mentality. I close my ears to the blah blah, stand firm when they try to fight me down as I thank Jaja. I don't expect to be justified by the laws of another. I feel the rain and don't get wet. Hit me with music and I will never feel the pain. Instead of balance, I stay in my lane, rise to my zone, turn up the high frequency where only like minds can see, hang with my pride of lion hearts, give thanks and praise to the chat box, exhale among my poet friends. I will not fail and be victim of the status quo. I will never compromise my authentic self and bend down to my foe. I am a product of all the things I love, and I will not take in the garbage. I let go and flush the shit out the window. I keep my head in the clouds and my feet rooted down deep to the ground. That is how I will never fall for anything, and that is the only balance I need to stay friends with equilibrium.
Unmute yourself and give it up for Metronome.
No.
She went in. Metronome, let me unmute you real quick. My favorite line, my equilibrium always throws off my crown. And Flossum. Everyone wants you to put Flossum on the shirt. So,
right on.
We still have no social media yet?
Oh, no, not yet.
Okay.
The hamster fell off the wheel for a second. Thank you. No, I'm off the grid.
Awesome. Well, hopefully we see you back next week. Thank you so much for sticking around.
Thanks for going over.
I'm glad that we got to you. So that was Metronome. Thanks to tonight's producer for us going a little late. Well, you're welcome. Okay, next coming up, we have, and those of you who are checking us out for the first time, we usually end at 10:30. So we're going a little later. We're going to the Philippines to Indigo Pie. Where is she? I saw it, Indigo. There is Indigo. You should be able to unmute yourself now.
Morning.
There we go. Morning. I know it's 10:30 in the morning for you. So we're pressed for time. I'm going to let you get right into it. Go ahead.
What? First of all, this is Hiroga. He head out to New York. Okay, let's go. I have not found anything to do with anything, but then I found you, and sometimes that's all that matters, isn't it? Sometimes all that matters is in the frenetic frenzy of everything going on in the world. There's one thing that makes everything slow down. Everything's fast and rapid. I can't understand anything, but with you, it's slow, it's easy, and the words come to me like a child finally comprehending her first alphabet. With you, the world slows down, and suddenly all of the panic in my head quiets. Suddenly, my anxiety somehow finds somewhere else to be, and then it's just you and me in this space. And I'm sorry that sometimes my claws dig into your back like you are the only vestige of air I've found. Sometimes you are the only breathing grounds for the lungs that are so inundated by the world's bullshit. And you know what? I'm sorry that sometimes I might be too much for you. And I'm sorry, and I'm sorry, and I'm sorry. And the last time I had a panic attack and I apologized 10 million times, you took me in your arms and said nothing because you knew that my love language was touch. You knew that sometimes things could get a little too much, and somehow that was all I needed. And then the world fell silent, and then everything went away. And yes, that does not magically cure depression. Being in a relationship does not cure any mental illness whatsoever. But being loved by someone you love will give you a moment of peace, and that is a part of recovery you can carry with you forever. Yo.
Give it up for Indigo.
Oh, go Indigo.
Thank you, Indigo.
Yes.
Well done.
Very nice.
Indigo Pie from the Philippines. Let me unmute Indigo one time. Indigo, you should be able to unmute yourself and quickly let the people know where they can find you.
I need you to know first that that was completely impromptu, so if I messed up a little, I'm sorry. I was making it up as I went along. Number one. Number two, I'm on Instagram, Indigo Pie Poetry. And if y'all have anything to spare, your girl needs to eat, so my PayPal is up there.
Thank you, Indigo. Indigo Pie, all the way from the Philippines. Appreciate you checking out. And the last person we're going to get to on the waiting list is Norm Mathematics. Let me unmute Norm. Norm, go ahead. We're pressed for time, so get into it, brother.
Okay, go. Thank you so much. This is called
An equal sign. Life is an algebraic equation. Sorry. Life is an algebraic expression looking for equilibrium. Variables and constants taken into account. Variables shift spontaneously beyond the speed of calculation. Constant shifting is where it gets tricky. What you said yesterday was your word, immutable, and yet attached to a thought no longer the same because of new additions multiplied since yesterday. Attention undivided on the present. Now, the constant's constant. No need to seek out more unknowns in the multiple unformed futures, like paths walked between the waves disappearing beneath the surf. The fullness of now has enough unknowns, like an oncoming horizon. Observing with detachment lets present unwrap until just before the moment of inertia, achieving a conclusion that is inevitable. Now, embedded in my DNA, interacting with detachment, participating in now without holding on to it. So much for equilibrium. Peace.
Unmute yourself. Give it up for Norm Mathematics.
Thank you, Norm.
Love you, Norm.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Norm Mathematics, love it. Let me unmute him one last time. Norm, where can the people find you online?
Hopefully here on Monday evenings at 8 o'clock. N_Maddox at Instagram and Norm Maddox on Facebook. It's a great place to be, folks.
Thank you, Norm. Norm Mathematics. We got to 4 people in the waiting list today. I'm really happy about that. Shout out to our producer for the evening for letting us go another 15 minutes. Oh yeah, that's me. So those of you who are asking about next week's theme, learn something, teach something. That is the theme. I want to hear about stuff that you learned, maybe knowledge that was passed down to you, and you passed it down to someone else. Learn something, teach something. Make sure that you're following me on Instagram and Twitter at Advocate of Wordz. And when you spell Advocate of Wordz, it's with a Z at the end, not an S. I'm from the Bronx hip hop, what? Advocate of Wordz. I've got workshops coming up. I've got, of course, more Monday night shows coming up where I'm going to give you all the themes there. I'm going to post that up tomorrow morning if you want to get a head start on it. And also have the erotic open mic coming up. I have other open mics coming up too. All of a sudden, a lot of people are starting to hit me up to host open mics, and I'm having fun. So make sure you follow me so you can come along. Shout out to the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. Of course, go to nuyorican.org. Our next open mic is Thursday at 9 p.m. That's hosted by La Bruja. And of course, next Monday, we'll be here again at 8 p.m. To sign up for the Monday night online open mic, Sunday night at 9 p.m., you go to nuyorican.org, click on full events calendar, choose to follow a Monday that's coming up, which will be the 14th. And then when you go to sign up, it has to be an artist RSVP. If you do not get an artist RSVP ticket, you're not going to be put on the open mic list. So that means the open mic either didn't open up yet, or it means it was closed and it was filled up. That's the only reason those options wouldn't be there. So with that being said, let's close it out. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for sharing what you've written. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for taking the time to listen. Good night, sweet poet. May your dreams be as imaginative as tonight's poems. Good night, sweet poet. Thank you for inviting us into your homes. This has been the Monday Night Online Open Mic presented by the Nuyorican Poets Cafe. And I've been the lucky dude who gets to host it and produce it tonight, Advocate of Wordz. So I hope everyone enjoys the rest of their evening. Stay away from YouTube and the politics. Go watch The Boys. Season 2 is up. If you haven't seen season 1, go watch it. So in love. That's what I'm going to do right now. All right, we're out of here. Advocate of Wordz. Take us home. Peace.